Today, the Flames face the Spartans from Norfolk State in an interstate battle for state bragging rights. The Flames are going to look to light up the skies off the arm of junior quarterback Josh Woodrum and wide receiver Darren Peterson. This is the battle at the beach. The starting shots will be fired across the bow next. Welcome to Dick Price Stadium in Norfolk, Virginia, and the Liberty Flames Sports Network Game of the Week. Today, the Liberty Flames face off against the Norfolk State Spartans. It's a non-conference NCAA Division I football game. Hi, everybody. Mike Tilley along with Matt Warner, and we're privileged to bring you live coverage of Liberty University football this season, the first of 7 LFSN televised games this fall. Liberty, of course, is 0-1. So is Norfolk State after they lost their openers a week ago. Liberty losing to Carolina, and, of course, Norfolk State being beat by Maine. What do you expect in this game?
Well, I expect to see two desperate teams. You have all this build-up during the offseason to come out and start the year 0-2. Will be a shot to the confidence of any program, and specifically Liberty. Their goal is the playoffs. They've made that very clear. If you want a shot at an at-large bid, you have to win games like today.
Liberty has the dominant offense on paper, but Norfolk State certainly has an impressive defense.
Yeah, one of the better defenses in the FCS last season. They have one of the better players on defense at any level, and we're going to talk, I know, a little bit more about him as we move along.
You know, our own Erin McEwen got married over the summer. She's now Erin Hagan. Congratulations, Erin.
Thanks, Mike. I cannot complain. Married life has treated me pretty good so far. As you guys know, DJ Jordan is joining us once again today, and we have a new broadcast member, Clement Townsend. Clement, welcome to the team. Talking about Norfolk State and Liberty, both teams looking to bounce back from first week losses. Who is Norfolk State going to need big help from today?
Well, the key to Norfolk State is their defense. They're a really strong, dominant unit who had a great start to the season last year against a top 25 team in Maine. They held Maine to under 200 yards, and a big part of their defense is Lyndon Trail. 6'7", 260-pound linebacker, and he can run with anybody on the field. A lot of scouts say he will be playing on Sundays in the next level soon.
And Clement, who will the focus be for Liberty?
Liberty needs a solid contribution from their running game, Todd Macon and DJ Abner. Last week, Macon was fantastic in his debut. 13 carries, 67 yards. He was the Big South Freshman of the Week. He averaged more than 5 yards per carry. Today, Liberty needs to do well on first and second down to avoid third and long. They need to avoid negative plays, and those running backs need to be physical. They need to break tackles, and they really need to try to wear down that Norfolk defense.
Well, there's a look at today's key matchup. Make sure you stay with us at the half, as we'll be back to break down all of the first half action. But until then, we'll send it back over to you, Mike.
Okay, guys, appreciate that very much. Lindsey Keith is our sideline reporter today. Lindsey, what is the mood of this Liberty football team?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, you know, you think that the morale of this team would be down after their loss to North Carolina last week and those 6 turnovers, but it's quite the opposite. They're rearing and they're ready to go. I talked to Josh Woodrum yesterday, and he said they're ready to bounce back and play like the team they know they can be. He also said they kind of just lost focus last week, but that will not happen here today.
Kickoff is coming up next. Liberty and Norfolk State live on the Liberty Flames Sports Network. It's the Big South Conference versus the MEAC. Back on a hot, humid Saturday in Norfolk, Virginia, as Liberty and Norfolk State get ready to kick it off. Liberty's head coach is Turner Gill, 52 years old in his 3rd season, 14-10 overall record, and told us again this week that he's building an FBS quality program, focusing really on the players' leadership and ownership of this team. And of course, he played in 4 bowl games and coached in 13. And there's the head coach for Norfolk State, Pete Adrian, his 10th season. He's the 3rd winningest coach in school school history, 15 coaching wins, and of course he led the Spartans to their first MEAC football championship in school history. That's Gabe Henderson on the kickoff return, and Henderson carries to about the 22-yard line, and that is exactly where Liberty will start offensively. Liberty's quarterback is number 6, Josh Woodrum, making his 23rd consecutive start. The junior out of Roanoke, Virginia, needs just 264 passing yards to reach 5,000 so far in his career. Of course, against Carolina, he was 16 of 32, 189 yards. Did throw a couple of interceptions, no TDs. And so we'll see what he'll do here. He's been working on his passing accuracy in the offseason. First down and 10 for the Flames on the natural turf here at Norfolk State's Stadium. The pitch back and a gain of about 4 yards on first down for DJ Abner. This Flames offense put 29 points on the scoreboard against the top 25 FBS team last week, and they're starting that veteran group in the backfield. DJ Abner, the primary running back, and this offensive line has really been dominating early season. Jonathan Burgess, one of the team's captains. It's going to be second down and about 7 for Liberty University as the Flames get set on their second road game of this 2014 season, losing to Carolina a week ago and playing here at Norfolk State this afternoon. That handoff given to number 2, that's Abner again, and Abner will pick up maybe 3 yards on second down. Norfolk State's defense is very stingy this year. They held that top 25 team to less than 3 yards a carry last Saturday. Riddick makes his 27th career start. All-American Lyndon Trail, just a powerful linebacker back there. In the secondary, watch out for number 19, Darren Morrow. He had 5 interceptions last year. And the Flames are going to face their first third down of this game against UNC. They were 36% on third down conversions after averaging more than 45% in 2013. It is third down and 5 as the Flames get set offensively. Shotgun formation. Woodrum's throwing long, and it is almost intercepted, incomplete. And Matt, the Flames are going to have to punt.
Yeah, and they're lucky that they're getting the chance to punt at this point. He lofted that pass up and knocked down by Darren Morrow. Really a poor decision there. He had the safety over the top, the defensive back underneath, tried to just throw it up, a jump ball in that situation, and very nearly intercepted by this fantastic Norfolk State defense, one of the better defenses in the country last season.
Liberty gets set to punt, having to turn it over here. And standing at about the 12-yard line is Trey Turner, just a redshirt freshman out of Rome, Georgia. A little bit of pressure. He gets it off. Not very deep. Hits at the 43-yard line. It's going to go out of bounds. No return opportunity at all for Norfolk State there. We're just underway here in Norfolk, Virginia on the Liberty Flames Sports Network. Liberty unable to do anything on its first possession. Norfolk State will have a chance.
I'm Matt Warner.
And I'm Clement Townsend, and we're bringing the sports you love to Juice TV.
The show is called Game On. It's a 30-minute show that we bring to you every weekday.
Whether you're looking for sports news, highlights, or commentary, we've got what you're looking for.
But that's not all. What makes us different is we give you personal stories on how sports and faith turn athletes into champions.
We hope you'll join us for Game On right here on Juice TV.
Turner Gill on this warm Saturday afternoon. Over 90 degrees here on the Virginia coast. No score between Liberty and Norfolk State as the Spartans get set to go. The biggest question of the game after juggling quarterbacks last season, playing 3 different guys at Maine last week. Norfolk still trying to find the right fit at quarterback. And number 1, Terrence Irvin is going to start at the quarterback spot. He was 2 of 4 passing, just 5 yards, but he's a freshman from Richmond, Virginia, best arm of the 4 quarterbacks that had sort of been in question. And this Norfolk State team loves to run the ball, so we'll see what they'll try to do here this afternoon as they get set for their first offensive possession. They're going to throw, and that pass is complete at the 47-yard line. That's a nice 5-yard gain on first down for the Norfolk State Spartans. Several injuries in the preseason, 7 first-time starters on this offense. We'll look at them in just a minute.
Yeah, we talk so much about this running attack, and what do? Surprise us all with the pass on first down, but that's what Terrence Irvin can do. He hit Isaac White there for a nice pickup. First down right away, and this offense that struggled so much gets a little confidence early.
Second down. That's Johnson. Let's look at the offensive lineup for this Norfolk State team, an FCS team, and you can see the fullback Wade. He gets a lot of attention. Running back Brendan Riddick had over 150 yards against Liberty 2 years ago. Only one senior on the line, and that's left tackle Justin Myler. It's going to be second down now, just underway here in the first quarter in this FCS non-conference game between Liberty and Norfolk State. Irvin again wants to throw. It's caught at the 45-yard line for a first down. Another first down. Isaac White on the reception.
Yeah, and he's looking to Isaac White here early and often. 2 receptions for White right here out of the gate. This team had 6 receptions total last week against Maine.
Yeah, and here's Liberty's defense. A really talented group. Dominique Davis had 9 tackles at Carolina. Nick Sigmund playing his 35th career game today. And the secondary picked off 3 passes at Carolina. They're actually number 2 right now in the FCS after week 1 in interceptions, as Norfolk has crossed into Liberty territory at the 45-yard line, and again will look to throw. And Irvin is going long to the end zone and overthrows the intended receiver. It was intended for number 2, and that was Damian Smith, who was wide open.
He had him, and you know what? With this team, we've talked so much about their running game. That's what they're known for. As a defensive back, you can get lulled to sleep a little bit thinking that they're just a run-first team. You get caught off guard there. That time, the receiver had a couple of steps on the DB, but Irvin just unable to connect.
Second down for the Spartans. 4 wide receivers. Keeping it, going up the middle, and hit right at the line of scrimmage was quarterback Terrence Irvin. He had nowhere to go. Liberty's defense played that perfectly.
Yeah, Irvin, we mentioned it, you know, he's more of a passer than a runner, but this offense is kind of built around running the ball as well, even from the quarterback position. So he's going to have to run a little bit, but he'd rather stay in the pocket if he has a choice.
Good tackle by Toby Onichi. Just under 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Liberty's second game of this 2014 season, playing on the road. Again, a passing situation. Irvin looking downfield. Now he's going to keep it. 40-yard line. First down. 30, and now stumbles out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. Nice run for Irvin.
Good escapability shown by Irvin there. Again, he'd rather pass, and he was looking downfield the entire play. But once he realized there was nothing there, just pulled it down and then was able to shake a couple of tackles. He's a big kid. He's 6'3", 210. So he's a big kid, and you got to really wrap him up because he'll shed some arm tackles like we saw on that first down carry.
Nice 17-yard run for Terrence Irvin. The freshman has the Spartan offense on the move after scoring only 6 points a week ago against Maine. That's number 34, Aaron Daniels, and Daniels crosses the 20-yard line to about the 18.
Is this the team that really only had 100 total yards against Maine last week? I mean, is this offense, they're making some plays out here. We did not expect this. We thought this offense would struggle. Irvin, they put into the starting role, and apparently he doesn't want to give it back. He's looked sharp here early on.
Well, he certainly has. And, you know, a young kid out of Richmond, Virginia, played high school at L.C. Byrd High School. He was 29-0 as a high school quarterback. And that handoff again goes to Daniels, and Daniels at the 10-yard line. The ball comes loose. Liberty has recovered it, but we're waiting for the officials to signal, and they're all very slow right now. But Liberty have picked up the fumble, and it looks like the teams believe it's a fumble, and the officials are finally signaling it that way.
But just a huge play by this Liberty defense. Bend but don't break, right? You see the hit come in right at the end as the ball come out before he hits the ground. A scrum right there, and Liberty ends up coming up with it. Just a huge play by this defense when Norfolk State had all kinds of momentum heading towards the end zone.
It looks like that fumble was recovered by Holloway, who wears number 6 on defense. And what a nice recovery. It was stripped. It looked like to me, wasn't it number 17 for Liberty that stripped that away? I'm not sure. That's Kuman. But anyway, Liberty has the football, although in pretty bad field position. At least they stopped the drive by Norfolk State, and that handoff is to Abner. Abner being pushed back after making his way to the 9-yard line. A gain of 2 on first down.
Well, Liberty's trying to establish the run against this team. Liberty ran it so well last week against North Carolina. In fact, this offensive line, Turner Gill talked about how impressed he was with this group and the way they handled an ACC opponent up front. They created big running lanes for the running backs last week. And they're trying to establish that run game here early on against one of the better defenses in the FCS.
Hey, if you'd like to tweet us during the game, use hashtag LFSNTV. LFSNTV. Tweet us. Let us know where you're watching today's Liberty Flame Sports Network televised game. It's second down, about 7. Woodrum, good protection. Going to keep it, 10-yard line, out of bounds at the 15. He's close to a first down, might be a yard short.
You know, and that may be something we see a decent amount from Woodrum today. The coverage downfield has looked really good from Norfolk State to this point. And he's athletic enough. We know he's not just a pure runner, but he's certainly athletic enough to pick up those yards if they make them available. And that may be an option here today against a defense that, at least to this point, has looked pretty stout in coverage.
This is the first time in 11 years that Liberty opens the season with back-to-back road games. The Flames are home, of course, next Saturday night to host Brevard. That's a 7 p.m. game at Williams Stadium. But today the Flames are looking for their first win of the year. They're 0-1 and facing here a third down and short. And that pass is caught for the first down, out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Kendall Kuhlman, the sophomore tight end, making the catch.
Yeah, perfect throw off the play action from Woodrum to Kuhlman. And, you know, that's something we didn't see. That formation, passing out of just the one receiver formation, is something they didn't do at all against North Carolina last week. Every time they were in that formation, they handed the ball off. So a little bit of a surprise there with the play action, and Woodrum on target.
Sparky getting fired up on the sideline. Liberty has a first down and 10 at the 24-yard line. Shotgun formation again for Woodrum. This time he'll give it back to Abner. Abner caught and hits the ground pretty hard around the 20. That was Lyndon Trail, who we've talked about so much. There he is, number 7, the redshirt senior from Miami, played at the University of Florida. And against Maine, he had 8 tackles, 4 for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and he blocked 2 passes.
Is that all?
That was it.
He was a 4-star recruit out of high school, went to Florida initially, and then ended up making his way here to Norfolk State, and they've got themselves a good one here. They'll take anybody else from Gainesville that wants to come this way.
The officials are from the MEAC. Steve Kinney, our head referee, and hopefully we won't hear from them too much today. Liberty only committed 2 penalties last week against Carolina for 19 yards. Pretty impressive start.
Look out.
Incomplete pass, but wow, he was hit hard, wasn't he?
DJ Abner got rocked. Big time hit. That was Kyle Archie laying the wood to him. They were trying to set up a screen. Archie wasn't biting. He read it all the way, and then, oof, right under the chin. Big time hit, and that's what can happen sometimes on a play like that when you just kind of loft the ball over your shoulder. Hung him out to dry a little bit, and Abner paid the price.
Abner didn't look like he was going to catch it anyway. It bounced off of his pads before he was hit. And Liberty struggled a little bit with some drop passes last week.
They sure did. 8 drop passes, according to offensive coordinator Aaron Stamm. He was not pleased. In fact, the wide receiver group as a whole wasn't pleased. Petey Peterson said he was disgusted by the way that they play.
Liberty having to take a timeout here, their first timeout of this game, with 7:07 to go in the first quarter. Liberty playing 2 in-state teams this season. Norfolk State, of course, today, and then Richmond on October 4th. That'll be a big game. It's homecoming 2014 in Lynchburg. Just underway here in Norfolk, Virginia. Back in a minute. No score between Liberty and Norfolk State midway through the first quarter here in Norfolk, Virginia. Very hot Saturday afternoon, about 91, 92 degrees. There's Turner Gill, Liberty's head coach in his 3rd season. He looking for his first win over Norfolk State. after losing 2 years ago in Lynchburg. It's 3rd down and 9. Liberty had to take that timeout, their first time out of the game. So 3rd down and 9, some movement along the line. Woodrum throws it. It is caught, but driving for the first down and about 2 yards short is that receiver. And so it looks like Liberty is going to have to punt. There's no penalty marker on the field. Dante Shells made the catch, but is coming up, I think, about a yard short.
Yeah, you're right. It looked like there was some movement on there, but no yellow on the field. Brings up they may take a look at this one and measure just to see how close it is. It looks to be about half a yard short of the yard to gain.
There's Dante Shells, the sophomore from Camden, Delaware, and he had 3 catches, 20 yards in that Carolina game. And the officials again from the MEAC. Norfolk State picked 6th in that conference this year, Matt.
Yeah, and we should mention something about this defense as well. We've talked about how good it is. They're without 2 of their starters here for the first half. Inside linebacker Lamar Neal and strong safety Keenan Lambert, both out for the first half after they were called for targeting in their game last week against Maine. So they're held out of the first half of this one by rule. They'll be back in the second half. So 2 starters aren't even on this defense, and they look very strong here already.
Yeah, that's a good point. Looks like about a foot short. And so it's going to be 4th down. You wouldn't go for that.
I wouldn't. I would be shocked if they do it this spot on the field. Yeah, here looks like here comes the punting unit. Perhaps no. They're going to leave Woodrum on the field. And
wow, they are going to go for it. Now this is a shock. Are you shocked about that?
If they actually go for it, I will be shocked. This is really showing some trust in the big fellas up front. You're telling your offensive line, we believe in you to get us half a yard.
DJ Abner is in the backfield. They're going against one of the top defenses in FCS football. Big play, the first big play of this game. Abner has the first down across the 40-yard line, a 6-yard gain on 4th and a foot. Liberty gambles, and it pays off.
And that's a big confidence booster for this offense. Turner Gill's basically saying, you know what, I'm not messing around here. We're going to go out, and if we can't get this half yard, then you know what, we'll just have to deal with it. But showing some confidence in the big guys up front, and they push the defensive line back, able to pick up a big first down, and now have some momentum rolling.
Liberty now at the 40-yard line. First down and 10. No score between these 2 FCS in-state non-conference opponents. Gabe Henderson getting set on the near side of the field. Woodrum's pass to Henderson. 50-yard line and pushed out of bounds. Another Liberty first down. A gain of 12 on that play. Morrow pushed him out. Sometimes all it takes is one play to get your confidence, to get some momentum, and that 4th down play may have been it. You see Woodrum now so good at throwing to the sidelines. Darren Morrow late getting there to push out Henderson. But that's really where Woodrum is at his best, hitting those little out routes to the sidelines. He's so good at that. 5:35 to go in the first quarter. There's Josh Woodrum. The junior quarterback has 30 touchdown passes in his career. Second down. Just a yard here. And apparently Henderson stepped out of bounds. I thought he had gained to about the 48, which would have been a first down. But apparently he stepped out and it was marked short of that, which created that 2nd down and 1. Abner carrying right there.
Yeah, he got it there. So that'll move the chains. You talked about Woodrum. Remember, Woodrum came in 2 years ago when these teams met back in 2012. LU quarterback Brian Hudson injured late in that game. Woodrum had to come in. He hasn't given up that spot since. You talked about his streak starting at quarterback for the Flames. Took over in that game and then became the guy after that, and certainly has had a great career to this point.
Norfolk State having to take a timeout here. Both teams taking timeouts in this first quarter with exactly 5 minutes now to go. Wonder what Coach Turner Gill is talking with the official about there on the sideline. Timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching live coverage of Liberty University football on LFSN.
Imagine yourself in Orlando. Imagine yourself in a completely different world. Ancient cultures unveiled. Mysteries explained. And timeless timeless truths revealed. The Holy Land Experience in Orlando, Florida. Imagine.
Let's check in with Lindsay Keefe.
Thanks, guys. You know, this Liberty squad has been known to be a competitive team. You might have heard Josh Woodrum say multiple times that they're hungry. Well, that's a conditioned hungriness. They're so competitive that even their workouts are a competition. They have this dry erase board in their workout room. The top 5 competitors go on it, and then the bottom 5 competitors, if you're in the bottom 5, you used to get a sticker that said, I'm soft. Well, they don't do that anymore, but it's a visual reminder to them that they need to stay hungry, and they're especially going to need that out here today in this heat.
Good point, Lindsay. And hungry there was that Liberty offense. Nice catch by Dexter Herman, who made the grab. That's looks like about an 19-yard gain.
Yeah, what a catch by Herman, laying out and snagging it in traffic. Good throw, too, from Woodrum to put it out there, but the tight end with a great snag on the 10th play of this drive, as Norfolk didn't think it was complete, and if they had another chance to look at it, they may have had a case. That was a tough grab there from Herman.
Quarterback Woodrum is now 4 of 6 passing, about 48 yards. As you look at Dexter Herman, good blocker and a receiver. Played in 12 games last year, but in a backup role, and he's starting this year, the senior from Beaver Springs, Pennsylvania.
Looks like we've had an official injured in this game. We've got an official being walked off, carried practically off the field here on the Norfolk State sideline. So some confusion now with the officials as they may be trying to sort that out, how they're going to handle this situation. But yeah, we've got an official being walked over to the training tape.
Norfolk State's coaches were upset about something. Coach Adrian and the others were looking over. Here's Woodrum again, throwing it to Dexter Herman. It looks like a good catch to me. Oh, now it's just been ruled incomplete.
You would wonder why, if it was ruled an incomplete pass, it took them all getting together and talking about it and sorting it out to make that ruling, because I don't know about you, I didn't see anyone waving it off initially. Take another look.
It's really hard to tell there, but
that
it looked to me
awfully close.
Yeah. Oh, my word. And there's no replay in this game, so how the officials gathered and reversed what looked like the call, because they had marked it at that.
And that's what Turner Gill's saying. He's saying, listen, why didn't you wave it off when it happened then? Why did you all have to get together and then make it? If someone saw it was an incomplete pass, you should have come running in and waved it off right then at that time. We've seen this crew already twice now be a little bit hesitant to actually make a call. Same way on the fumble, and now on this play. And yeah, he's not too pleased about it.
Well, we all understand that frustration, because the officials, you know, they were slow to give Liberty the ball after the obvious fumble at the other end, and now they were slow here after saying it was a completed pass, and they reversed themselves. So anyway, it is what it is. Liberty has to have a 2nd down and 10 now from midfield, and Liberty's got 3 wide receivers. Herman getting set. Woodrum looking downfield, throwing complete to Dexter Herman across the 40 into the 37-yard line. A late penalty marker is thrown. He has the 1st down, depending on what this penalty is.
Yeah, it looked like a block in the back. That may have been Peterson on the far side with a block in the back on the DB that was coming back to make the tackle on Herman. Herman would have picked up the 1st down. That block just a little bit unnecessary, as Herman would have had 1st down yardage. Here you see it right here. That's actually Gabe Henderson, it looks like, with the push in the back of number 20. Brandon Walker. Just unnecessary. Herman was about to pick up a 1st down, and now you end up backing yourself up.
Well, if it was a penalty, they did not mark it off. They did throw that. I agree with you, Matt. I'm not sure exactly what happened. They must have waved this one off. So it's now 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Just a bizarre couple of plays by the officials, and we get set on 1st down and 10 from the 37. The pitch went back to Abner, and he was hit pretty quickly just as he got that pitch, and we'll lose a couple of yards on 1st down. Deion King playing good defense.
Yeah, they have a lot of players on this defense that can disrupt what you're trying to do. And, we talked to Turner Gill. Are you going to try to do anything different, especially with a guy like Trail on that side of the ball? Are you going to do anything special to try to make sure you neutralize him? And he said, no, we're just going to do what we normally do. Run our normal offense, and if we have to make some adjustments as the game goes along, maybe we'll do that. But he seemed to be confident that running their normal stuff, they could have success.
Officially marked as a 4-yard loss. Gabe Henderson going in motion on 2nd down and 14. Josh Woodrum, pressure, looking downfield and going long to Peterson. He's got it at the 6-yard line. Peterson makes the catch. It's 1st and goal, Liberty.
Woodrum, much maligned for his deep ball accuracy. That one on the money. And when you get Peterson on the outside, all you have to do is give him a chance. He had a couple drops last week, but he's so talented, lays it up there perfectly, hauls it in, and now Liberty in the red zone.
Great catch by Darren Peterson, the junior out of Alabama. He had 96 yards receiving against Carolina on Saturday. That was a big one on that play, a 34-yard completion, and Liberty has it at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal. DJ Abner back into the middle and makes his way to the 5-yard line.
Last week against North Carolina in the red zone, Liberty ran it every single time. 9 plays in the red zone, they ran it 9 times. Last year on the season, they ran it 76% of the time when they're in the red zone. So when they get down to this part of the field, they like to let that offensive line and the running backs do the heavy lifting.
2nd down, goal at the 6, 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score between Liberty and Norfolk State here at Dick Price Stadium in Norfolk, Virginia. Right up the middle, that's Abner, and he has to bounce to the outside. Pulled down from behind at the 4, and it's going to be 3rd and goal now. Good defensive effort that time by number 19, Darren Morrow.
This defense, they just swarm to the ball, and you may think, like right there, that quick sidestep, oh, he's got something here. But this defense, they're all coming at you now. They all swarm to the football, and when you make one guy miss, there's 3 or 4 more right there to make the play.
Liberty threatening for the first time in this game. 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line. High backfield behind Woodrum. Woodrum wants to throw, and he throws it to Falual. He's out of bounds at about the 5-yard line, so he may have actually lost perhaps a yard on the play. It's going to be 4th and goal. 4th and goal. That was the fullback, Nicky Falual, who made that catch out of the backfield.
And now we're going to get a chance to see a field goal opportunity.
Avery Nichols, it's his first field goal attempt of his college career.
Yeah.
This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt with the wind blowing against him. He gets it away. It has the distance, and it's good. Avery Eccles, the Zeeland, Michigan freshman, with his first collegiate field goal, and Liberty scores first.
16 plays, 90-yard drive. That was an impressive drive. Of course, you would have loved it to end with a touchdown, but they get points out of it. They get some confidence offensively moving the ball. And then how about Eccles driving it through? That's been one area that Turner Gill has said, I'm still concerned about the kicking game. Just because we haven't seen these guys under the lights in game situations. Eccles gets a short one there, comes through, drives it between the uprights.
Liberty scoring the first points of the game as Turner Gill had to compete not only against Norfolk State's talented defense, but some of the officials as well on that drive.
Yeah, some confusing things happened on that drive, but you know what? You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have things like that in any game. You've got to find a way to overcome it. In 8 minutes, 22 seconds, the time that drive took. Good ball control from the Liberty offense as they just methodically worked their way down. And that's something offensive coordinator Aaron Stamp said they'd have to do against this defense. This defense doesn't give up a ton of big plays, so you're just going to have to move the chains, be patient, take what they give you, and just keep working your way down the field. And hopefully in the end, you're able to come away with points.
There's Liberty's third-year head coach, Turner Gill. Probably a relief to get some points on the board here in this first quarter.
No doubt, no doubt. And now it's you go back to your defense and say, all right, let's see you step up a little bit now. They got the turnover there, but Norfolk State had been driving. It'll be interesting to see what they try to do now that they've seen a little bit of the young guy, Terrence Irvin.
And that's got to give Eccles some confidence. Of course, he was 3 of 3 on extra points. Blanchard in there to kick it off. Not very good kick at all.
The kickoffs have been a real struggle. They said last week it was Eccles kicking off, and he struggled mightily. So it's Blanchard getting the nod today. Kicks it low and out of bounds. That's a real cause for concern for Turner Gill at this point, because you just hand a team great field position.
Boy, it's really hot today, folks. I can't tell. We got here about noon. We started sweating, and we've just sweated more and more as the day has progressed. 4 o'clock, probably the hottest time. I asked Norfolk State why they would have a 4 o'clock game, and they said 2 times a year they play at 4 o'clock, and they just happened to pick this one as one of them. So it's the hottest time of day, and who would have known in September, of course, that it would be 90 degrees. But it's just really humid, hot.
I've lost 8 pounds already. You might have to carry me out of the booth when this thing's done.
First down for Norfolk State on the 35-yard line. They trail it 3-0, and the quarterback in there, Terrence Irvin. That handoff to Riddick. Riddick caught behind the line of scrimmage. Great defense by Liberty. Onichi got back there. Also Nick Sigmund.
Yeah, Riddick was a guy, he's really their primary back, a power back, and Liberty folks may remember him. He went for $153 and 3 touchdowns against the Flames back in 2012, kind of his breakout performance that season.
Second down 10 for the Spartans. Great defense again for Liberty. 4 wide receivers for the Spartans. The pass is caught at the 39-yard line, a gain of 4 on the play. We're talking about how hot it is here today, and Matt mentioned one of the officials that had trouble, had to come off the field, and there is that official. Probably cramps, and you gotta eat bananas, by the way.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, bananas the key to not getting cramps.
And pickle juice, right? I hear pickle
I don't know
juice
about
is also
that.
good. If you dip a banana in pickle juice, you're good to go for like weeks.
Oh yes, that's or maybe some North Carolina barbecue with some vinegar or something. I don't know. Anyway, 3rd down and 5 after that 5-yard reception, and Irwin is sacked back at the 33-yard line. Liberty's defense just closing in and collapsing on that quarterback. It was Dominique Davis, number 90, who got there first, the senior from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, Nick Sigmund also coming on the blitz. He kind of blew that thing up. The quarterback stepped up, and Nico Davis there to clean it up. Good defensive effort here on this series by the Flames, and they keep the momentum in their favor.
There's Dominique Davis heading to the sideline, and his team leads Norfolk State here on the road 3-0 after the first 15 minutes of play. Welcome back to Norfolk, Virginia. Liberty on the sideline there. Dominique Davis had that great play just a minute ago, and Liberty leads Norfolk State as we get ready to start the second quarter. I'm surprised that we've got a low-scoring game so far.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised, I guess, because this defense is so good for Norfolk State. I thought if it had a chance to be a high-scoring affair, it would, I don't know, it would be maybe some miscues that would lead to it. But these teams have both looked fairly solid other than the Norfolk State fumble on their drive down inside the 20 of Liberty.
Liberty's brought in Todd Macon, the redshirt freshman from St. Pete, Florida, who played very well against Carolina, a couple of TDs rushing. And so he's in the lineup for the first time here in this game. As we start the second quarter, he gets the handoff. He's caught from behind and will lose a couple of yards on first down. Nice job by number 24 that time. That was Jay Anderson, the backup outside linebacker, who made the stop.
Yeah, Macon barely got his hands on the football before Anderson came and blew that thing up. This defense is aggressive. They have a lot of athletes. They play a 3-4 style, so they have those 4 athletic linebackers out there. They can cover a lot of ground, and if they diagnose the play early enough, things like that can happen. People in the backfield blowing it up.
Officially a loss of 2 yards on the play, so it's 2nd down and 12. Abner in motion with 2 wideouts to the near side, now 3 counting him, and 2 on the far side. Woodrum looking downfield, and it's incomplete out of the hands of tight end Dexter Herman.
Everybody wearing red and white were holding their breath on that play as it deflected off the hands of Herman and just seemed to hang in the air forever. Fortunately for the Flames, there weren't any Spartans close enough to snag it. Woodrum had time. Looked like a pretty good ball, but Herman not able to haul it in.
Make sure you stay with us at the half. The Runkin Pratt Senior Living Communities halftime report. We'll have a special feature on Liberty University's traditions, a growing list of traditions at Liberty University. And of course, Aaron, Clement, and DJ will break down the first half for us. That's all coming up at the half. It's 3rd down and 12 for Liberty. Woodrum with some pressure, and he's going to be sacked for the first time in this game. He was sacked one time in the Carolina game, and right here he's sacked. Good effort by number 51, George Riddick.
Yeah, George Riddick there for the sack. Trail was also in the backfield as you see him come around the edge and get a hand on Woodrum. I mean, this defense is more than just Lyndon Trail. As good as he is, maybe the best defensive player in all of the FCS, this defense is about more than just him, and we've seen that to this point.
Riddick had 8 tackles against Maine. That punt off the foot of Trey Turner will be fielded at the 22-yard line by Tanner Fiano, and he's back to about the 30-yard line, and that's where the Spartans will begin offensively. But first, we're going to take a timeout. 13:24 to go in the first half. Liberty leads Norfolk State 3-0 in this FCS football game. Mike Tilley and Matt Warner back with you on the Liberty Flames Sports Network here in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the 6th meeting between these two programs. Liberty leads the series 3-2, but Norfolk State has won 2 straight, including that 2012 win in Lynchburg, 31-24. Last time Liberty beat the Spartans was 2003. It was a dominating performance. We'll tell you more about that later. That's a gain of just a few yards for the running back, number 2, Damian Smith, who snuck in the lineup for the Spartans.
They brought him on kind of an end around here, and initially it looked like Liberty did a good job forcing him to cut it up earlier than he wanted to. Then he was just able to squirt through and pick up about 6.
That'll make it 2nd down and 4, and there he is, staying in the lineup, Damian Smith. Listed as a wide receiver. Across the 40 to the 45-yard line. That's a Spartan first down, and their offense has shown they can gain some yards.
Yeah, we're starting to see that run game that we had heard so much about. You're taking some pressure off the freshman quarterback Irvin, and they've had some success. That was Terry Polk, who's had a few nice carries here in the early going.
First down 10, 44-yard line for the Spartans. Liberty showing a blitz. And no running room at all this time for number, was that 22 again? Good job by Liberty, though, to get back there and make the nice tackle. A 2-yard loss. Number 38, Jala, making that tackle.
Yeah, Alpha Jallo coming down from his safety position, and that's something that you could expect to see Liberty do now that they're starting to run the ball a lot. Kind of bring those safeties down, keep them close, try to stack as many people in the box as you can, and force the young quarterback to beat you with his arm.
Terry Polk left the lineup there after that play. Number 10 is Brendan Riddick. Riddick to the 46-yard line, and it's another first down.
You know, we're seeing Liberty, the defenders, get in decent position. It just seems like they're unable to make the tackle on that initial hit. Guys are bouncing off. You saw it there, the initial hit, and then he goes and picks up about 6 more yards. So you just got to wrap them up, drop them where you hit them, and they're having trouble doing that at this point.
I said it was first down. It's actually 3rd down and 8 now for the quarterback, number 1, Terrence Irvin, the freshman from Richmond, Virginia. Had 50 touchdowns in high school. He'll throw here. It's caught midfield into Flames territory. Nice catch by Isaac White, but he's about 4 yards short of the first.
He's gone to Isaac White. I think that's the 3rd time in this ball game, and White actually had some room to turn and get upfield, but just kind of had to go down to throw a little bit down around his knees, had to go down to get it, unable to stay on his feet. And once again, Norfolk State forced to punt.
Dylan Shaddix comes in to punt. He had 8 punts against Maine, 40-yard average per punt. And Zach Parker is waiting for this punt back at about the 20-yard line. Parker had 1 punt return in Chapel Hill for 12 yards. And he'll have an opportunity as he waves for the fair catch and takes it at the 16-yard line. And that's where Liberty will begin offensively. Another timeout here on this natural turf in Norfolk, Virginia on a hot Saturday afternoon. Lindsay Keith.
Thanks, guys. You have been talking about how hot it is out here, but you're up in the booth. I'm down here. It's 91 degrees out here, and I'm on the sideline with these guys. They're just drenched. The athletic trainers are making sure that they stay hydrated, getting some extra Gatorade in them, but there's one person who's going above and beyond, and that's Liberty Athletics Director's wife, Donna Barber. I saw her down here. She has this little bucket, and she's handing out applesauce bites to the guys. They're supposed to keep them extra hydrated and get some extra nutrition in them because this heat is scorching. Hopefully, no one else will pass out.
Can she throw some up this way? Is that possible? I don't know if maybe we can work on that for halftime. I don't know.
Oh, that would be nice. It's sweltering in here in the press box. If you think, I know you think it's cool in the press box, but I just want to point out that the air conditioning does not work in here, and it's pretty warm.
You know what? We're gamers, though. Mike Tilley. Yes. We're going to battle through.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Team. All right, second down 10 from the 17-yard line. After that incomplete pass, Woodrum will throw again. This one complete to Dexter Herman, and the tight end is to the 20-yard line. Looks like Woodrum likes to get it to Herman here in the first half.
Yeah, and that's been available, although great closing speed by the defender there. Marcel Koch, he was their leading tackler a year ago. Good closing speed to keep that at a minimal gain. Liberty out gaining NSU right now about 94-71. So this has not exactly been a barn burn to this point. Both offenses trying to find their stride.
Third down 6 for the Flames. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Peterson is by himself on the far side of the field. And there's Josh Woodrum, who gets set. Led the Big South in passing yards and passing TDs last year. Will throw long to Peterson, who's open, but he's not able to get to it. He slowed down for a moment. I don't know if he got caught with the sunshine or what.
Yeah, he had him. You saw that separation right at the end. He was able to pull away from the defensive back, Darren Merrow there, but just unable to connect on the deep route. And once again, this defense for Norfolk State proven to be up to the test.
Peterson coming over to the sideline. Not real pleased with his performance in the Carolina game. Missed a couple of passes and determined to have an impact in this one. Punt, not very deep. It's at the 48-yard line and out of bounds at the 43. And that's where the Spartans will begin.
Norfolk State, they can't complain about their starting field position so much in this ball game because Liberty has handed them some great field position at this point. Remember the kickoff that went out of bounds, some short punts. They've had opportunities with the ball in the middle of the field. They just haven't been able to cash in.
There's Terrence Irvin, the quarterback. It was all unknown who was going to start at quarterback in this game. There were 4 different quarterbacks that could possibly start. Irvin has stayed out there so far the entire first half.
You look at depth chart sometimes, you'll see at one position where it'll say this guy or that guy. Well, at quarterback, it says this guy or that guy or that guy or that guy. And there were, 4 guys that we thought could be playing today. To this point, it's been Irvin, and we'll see if they stick with him.
Irvin trying to go downfield, but he was caught at the ankle, has to run now across midfield and goes down at the 48-yard line. He was looking to heave that one down the field, but Liberty's defense tripped him up, and instead he picks up 10 on first down on the ground.
Yeah, it looked like that was Toby Onyichi who was there initially going for the sack. Let's take another look. No, looks like, is that Dominique Davis there getting in there? Couldn't get him by the ankles. And then Irvin able to break free and pick up that first down. But an opportunity there to get the sack. But like I said, big, strong kid able to shed it and get a positive play.
43-yard line, first and 10. Number 10 gets the handoff and loses a yard on the play. Brendan Riddick, the junior running back from Richmond, Virginia, who again in 2012 had 21 carries against Liberty, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in that Norfolk State win over Liberty in 2012.
Yeah, and that was about over half of his total production from last season. Rolandon Finch was the starter for this team last year at over 1,000 yards. Riddick limited to just 71 carries, 264 yards all of last season. But again, he's going to be one of their go-to guys in the backfield this year, a power back who they think can do some damage, and certainly Liberty knows all about it from 2 seasons ago.
Irvin on 2nd and 10. Pressured, and he's going to be sacked at the 42-yard line. A loss of about 15 yards. Toby Onichi, the redshirt senior from West Orange, New Jersey, with the sack. He had 4 sacks last year and gets one here.
Well, he wasn't escaping out of that. Pressure up the middle. You saw looked like Uzuehi up the middle as well. And a lot of people in the backfield. Nico Davis there. Onichi gets his hands on him, and he wasn't letting go.
A loss back to the 43-yard line after the Spartans had crossed into Flames territory. There's the total offense so far in this game. Liberty 94 yards, the Spartans with 80. And we've got 7:20 now to play in the first half.
Now we got a flag.
Penalty markers thrown there. Maybe too much time. We'll wait to see.
False start. Offense.
False start.
Number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Justin Myler, the left tackle, who is making his 15th career start, a preseason All-MEAC second-team player, is charged with that penalty.
Well, you never like being in 3rd and long, but this offense is definitely not built for 3rd and long. Now 3rd and 24. There aren't plays in the playbook for 3rd and 24, although they'll spread it out here with 4 wide.
3rd down. Erlin's pass over the middle. It's picked off at the 45-yard line. Hagan, 40, coming back, trying to get a seam, and will be tackled at the 35-yard line. Jacob Hagan with the interception, his 8th career interception.
Jacob Hagan doing Jacob Hagan things, creating turnovers, stepping in front of the receiver, picking it off. He was credited with that forced fumble earlier in the ball game, and now here picks off the Irvin pass. Another big play for this defense. What more can you say about Hagan? Just a playmaker at the safety position. We saw it last year, and to this point, he's been money this year as well. You remember the fumble return for a touchdown against North Carolina last week.
You know, there are 2 players out here today that are in the running for the Buck Buchanan award as the best defensive player in the FCS, and he's one of them. And boy, he just had a great game last week against Carolina. 8 tackles, that 27-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, which was the 2nd of his career. But there was a penalty called that's backing this one up to midfield. It was a celebration penalty against the Flames. That was a 23-yard interception return for him, but it's taken back now to midfield. Liberty has it following the turnover. 1st down and 25 according to the scoreboard as Woodrum throws it downfield, and it is caught by Dante Shells inside the 10-yard line. Dante Shells with the catch, the sophomore from Camden, Delaware, and it's a Liberty 1st and goal.
Dante Shells, a talented kid, has had his ups and downs, certainly with drops in his career, but the talent is there, and when he gets opportunities like this, you got to do just like he did. Haul it in with a defender on his back, pick up a big 1st down, and has his team now down inside the Norfolk State 10.
Dante Shells, the 3rd leading receiver a year ago on this Flames team with 430 yards receiving. He started 11 of 12 games last year for the Flames, and a nice catch and a long reception of 33 yards from Woodrum to Dante Shells. And Norfolk State has had to take a timeout here. They're feeling some pressure as Liberty is inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen Woodrum now be on target with a couple of 30-yard plus passes. We saw it to Peterson earlier. Now we see it to Shells. Beautifully thrown ball right into the hands of his receiver. Now Liberty knocking on the door.
We'll be back to Norfolk, Virginia in a minute. There's Josh Woodrum. There he is, 8 of 14, 119 yards so far in this first half, and he's going to have a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line following that completion to Dante Shells. Liberty with 2 wideouts. Woodrum Keeps it. Touchdown.
Great play.
Josh Woodrum faked it inside to DJ Abner, kept it for the 7-yard score, and Liberty scores its first touchdown of the game.
And we saw that in the red zone some last season. Just a perfect job by Woodrum pulling that thing out. The entire defense swarmed to the running back, and he could just waltz his way into the end zone. Coming away with a touchdown here, and this opportunity is huge. If they can go up 10-0 here, that's a deep hole for this offense to dig its way out.
In to attempt the extra point, Avery Eccles, 3 of 3 on the season, 3 of 3 at Carolina last week. Of course, he had a 22-yard field goal in this game. And it's on its way, and it's good. So he's now 4 of 4, the freshman. And there's Josh Woodrum, who takes it in from 7 yards out. Doesn't have to just throw it in for a score. He can run it.
You like those 2-play 35-yard drives. Coaches love those, huh? Short field, and they come through. Great job by Woodrum showing that athleticism.
And with that, Liberty has taken a 10-0 lead over Norfolk State here in Norfolk, Virginia. The flag is flying. 6:39 to go in the half. And Liberty leads it. Liberty's cheerleaders here, and a few hundred fans made the 193-mile journey from Lynchburg to Norfolk, Virginia, and they're across the way with their red on. And you know, I'd say there's about as many Liberty fans here as Norfolk State fans. If you look into the stands here, this Liberty scoring all of its points off turnovers here in this game, and what a critical element that is. We talked about it in the pregame. The kickoff by Blanchard out of the end zone.
Yeah, much better kickoff that time as he drove it back through the end zone.
So Norfolk State will try to get something going here. Liberty is 24-12 all time against MEAC opponents. The Flames beat Morgan State last year 38-10, and you know, Pete Adrian, the head coach at Norfolk State, decided to hire the head coach of Morgan State to become his offensive coordinator. Don Ely is the offensive coordinator at the Spartans program this year, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to build them. And you know, after they only were able to produce 6 points against 23 ranked Maine last week, they have moved the ball pretty well at times here in the first half, but they just haven't found the end zone. Here they have a first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Terrence Irvin, the quarterback, picks up 2 on first.
Yeah, you talk about Donald Hill, Ely. He's used to playing multiple quarterbacks. Last year, he had played 4 quarterbacks on that team as well. So 4 quarterbacks here, he's used to that. Now, he may not want to be used to that, but he's kind of been forced into that here these last couple of seasons.
Second down and about 8 from the 27-yard line. Just over 6 minutes to play in the first half. Irwin completes it to White. White is caught at the 30-yard line. Good Liberty defense. Number 33 got there, Jimmy O'Grady, to make the tackle.
Yeah, honestly, you know, Liberty gets this 10-0 lead. You're really focused on keeping everything in front of you at this point. This offense simply isn't good enough to put up a ton of points against you, so don't let them catch you sleeping and hit you with a deep ball for a big play touchdown. Keep everything in front of you. Force them to work their way down the field, because chances are they're going to make a mistake at some point.
Third down 5. Irwin back to pass. Good protection. Now he's got to scramble. Llewellyn was chasing him. He's got the first down. 40, 45, midfield. Still trying to run, and tackled at the 49-yard line. They officially mark it at the 50, so that's a nice run for him.
Yeah, he's shown some good mobility, and I'm sure Pete Adrian is saying, hey, young fellow, when you get that far, just go ahead and get down. We don't want to have to use 3 other quarterbacks. We'd like to keep you in there if you're playing well. But the young guy, he's not afraid of a little contact. He's not afraid to take on a defender, as he got tripped up there at the end of that run. But yeah, once again showing that nice mobility, and when there's a little bit of pressure, when there's good coverage, he's shown that he can step outside the pocket and make things happen.
That was a 20-yard game, so with 5 minutes to go in the half, Norfolk State trying to put something together here to get on the scoreboard. The pass is caught at the 45-yard line. The catch made by number 15 this time. That's Street making that catch.
And a good tackle by Wesley Scott coming back to make the hit from behind. Scott, one of those defensive backs that he's got no problem stepping up and making a tackle. He's a hard hitter at the defensive back position. And you see him close in there at the end of that catch and make the hit.
Gain of 9. And it's second down and 1. This time the handoff. First down for number 22. That's Terry Polk, who's back in the lineup, and the running back gives the Spartans a first down.
Yeah, Polk has got a lot of looks here so far in this game. He had just 2 carries last week for a total of -2 yards. So he's been much more successful here so far today on his opportunities.
39-yard line, first down, 10. He's gone to the sideline for the moment. 3 wide receivers lining up on the far side of the field for the Spartan offense. An offense that was held to 100 total yards last week, the lowest yardage since 2010 when they played South Carolina State. Irwin in trouble, and he's sacked at the 42-yard line. Liberty's defense would not let him get out of that backfield. Chima Uzowehi, the junior from Houston, Texas, wears number 52, and he had 4 solo tackles and a forced fumble at Carolina, and he picks up the sack here.
Yeah, Chima time, right? I mean, I believe that's his 10th sack of his career. In fact, it's the 10th of his career. So active on the defensive side, always working, always trying to get by that offensive lineman, and that time able to kind of just come back as the quarterback stepped up. He was able to get the sack, and congrats on 10 on his career.
He was pointing out during the week that he lost as a freshman to Norfolk State, and he was looking to dominate them here today. That pass to White is over his head, incomplete, and it's going to be a long situation coming up here.
Yeah, another 3rd and long, and again, he was looking for that time. It looked like that may have been Isaac Brown here on the near side. He's been kind of Irvin's security blanket to this point, or Isaac White, rather. It's been kind of his go-to guy. Even if he snags that thing, it looks like he's going to carry him out of bounds. So, yeah, another 3rd and long. You're at the spot in the field, though, where if they could get 6 or 7 on 3rd down here, you could see them go for it on 4th. So you don't necessarily need it all on this play.
Field goal kicker normally pretty accurate from 40, 45 yards. So we'll see Irvin here looking downfield, and it's incomplete. He intended it for number 34. That's Aaron Daniels, the backup running back. But again, Uzowehi was tracking right along with him.
Yeah, and they were trying to set up a screen for the running back that time, and Liberty diagnosed it perfectly. Made it a difficult play. Also, the pressure on the quarterback there made it a tough throw. But that Liberty defense, they've given up some yardage. They've given up some plays, maybe a little bit more than we thought, considering how Norfolk State played last week. But this defense has come up big when they've needed to, and has, to this point, kept the Spartans off the board.
4th down, 13. The punter comes in. That's Dylan Shaddix. Very high punt. Parker lets it hit at the 16-yard line and gets a Spartan bounce inside the 10 and out of bounds. So Liberty will have it 91 yards away from the end zone with 2:45 to go here in the half.
Shaddix was a all-conference punter 2 years ago. Wasn't a part of the program for various reasons last year, but came back. And when your offense struggles, but you have a really dominant defense like Norfolk State has, field position is so important, and it's so important to have a punter like Shaddix who can pin a team deep like this.
You think Coach Gill is happy with how this first half has unfolded for the Flames?
I think he's happy to see a 0 on the board under the NSU. And, yeah, any points you can get on this defense, yeah, I think he's pretty pleased with what he's seen thus far. Maybe not with the guys in stripes, but he's pleased with his team.
Henderson getting set on the far side. First down for Josh Woodrum. Looks downfield and throws it incomplete. Looked like he was looking for Gabe Henderson, but the defender was right in front of him.
Yeah, dangerous pass. Looked like that was Leroy Parker there in front of the receiver. Woodrum trying to get it up and over his head. It was a dangerous play as he was rolling and really kind of throwing against his body.
Make sure you stay with us at the half. The Runken Pratt Senior Living Community's halftime report. We'll have a special feature on Liberty's ongoing traditions. And then Aaron Clement and DJ will break down the first half for us. We're also going to hear from Coach Turner Gill as he leaves the field here at the end of the first half to get his perspective on the first 30 minutes of play. So stay with us here on LFSN. That pitch goes back to Abner. Abner about the 12-yard line.
They really haven't been able to break a big run to this point, but it's important that you stick with it. You keep keep trying it, frankly, just to keep the defense honest as much as anything. And the way that we saw this running game work last week, you expect them sooner or later to get a seam and see Abner running down for a big pickup. But to this point, the Norfolk State defense has held strong.
Flames will have a 3rd down and 6. Just over 2 minutes to go in the half. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 2 to the far. And Woodrum by himself will put Parker in motion. Woodrum in trouble now. He's going to have to keep it, trying to get to the outside 20-yard line and out of bounds. It's going to be 4th down.
Woodrum showing some wheels there, though, as Trail was trying to close on him, and Woodrum able to pick up a couple more yards there on the end of that run. Good awareness by Josh Woodrum, realizing there wasn't much open downfield. He had pressure, he stepped up, and then you see him tuck it and go. Comes up about a yard shy of that 1st down. Some confusion on the Norfolk State side as they're sending guys on, sending guys off. Woodrum staying on the field. And now it looks like Norfolk State may have to take a timeout. They were all out of whack with their personnel. They didn't know what was going on.
Well, and Liberty was not bringing in its punting unit on 4th down and 1.
Turner Gill, riverboat gambler, huh? We saw him go for it on 4th down in his own territory earlier in the game. I don't know if he was actually going to go through with it there on his own 18. If so, he's a confident man. Yikes.
You know, one of the things that he's talked about, you know, he mentioned turnovers as being a big deal, you know, in that Carolina game. Something Liberty, you know, only turned it over. I mean, just very few times last year, right? Yeah. And they had those 6 against Carolina. So turnovers a major emphasis, but also special teams and making sure getting good field position and all of that. Do you feel like the special teams have been playing a little bit better here in this game?
Well, you saw the field goal. That was good from Eccles. The punting unit has not been good. The punts haven't been very good to this point. We saw a kickoff that went out of bounds, but the last kickoff from Blanchard we did see go into the end zone. So it's been kind of a mixed bag to this point, as now we do see the punter come back out on the field like we kind of thought he would back at the beginning.
Yeah, the punting unit is on with 1:47 to go in the half. It's 4th down and about 1. Trey Turner standing at the 5-yard line to punt it away.
Oof,
just got coming hard. He got it away. It hits at the 43 and rolls out of bounds. He was averaging about 38 yards a punt prior to that one. And it looks like the Spartans will have it at the 41-yard line. 1:41 before the half to try to get on the scoreboard. You want to tweet us during this game, use hashtag LFSNTV, LFSNTV, and tweet us during the game. We'll be checking those out at halftime and try to respond to any questions or observations, your thoughts about this game. We'd love to connect with you, and interested always in where you're viewing this game from.
In fact, Mike saw a tweet from Steve James in South Africa watching this game. Of course, he used to be a part of LFSN, working in various roles, and he and his family now serving in South Africa, and he's watching the game over there. So we're huge in South Africa.
Yeah, it's great to connect with everybody interested in Liberty football. Irvin keeps it here, and he will make it to midfield, still driving his feet. And they'll finally stop play at the 48-yard line. So he's able to get into Flames territory, a gain of 12.
Yeah, again, this kid, we were told he's not a runner. He wants to pass, but we've seen that running ability, and we've seen a strength out of him. He's able to take on tacklers and keep those legs moving. And right now, with 1:22 left, they're open to at least get in position for a field goal opportunity.
On 1st down, that was Polk.
Again, though, this offense, and not what would you call a quick strike offense. Teams, you know, they practice 2-minute drill all the time, you know, in preseason and all of those things. But this is not an offense that's really made for that type of quick strike score, as they're taking up too much time right now as the clock ticks under 55 seconds.
2nd down, 12. Irvin looking downfield. Now he's going to have to keep it. Penalty marker thrown. He's out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Could have a holding here. Jimmy O'Grady took him out of bounds.
In fact, Irvin, we said, not much of a rusher. He's rushed for 42 yards, all of Liberty. The Liberty team has rushed for 34, so he's out rushing them by himself at this point.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, that's a back-breaking penalty when you're trying to get something going here in the last minute of a half. Take another look. Looks like that might have been on Nico Davis over there. It looked like there might have been a hold up top as well on Toby Onichi. So I just throw that flag out there and pick one.
Second down, 22 for the Spartans. 43 seconds to go in the half. Trying to make something happen here offensively. Irvin is caught behind the line of scrimmage. He loses a yard on the play. And again, it's Dominique Davis, the senior from Buffalo, New York.
He's been great today. He was fantastic last week against North Carolina as well. He's a guy that's really coming into his own. They always knew that he had talent. They always knew he could do this, but frankly, it was just getting the opportunity. And with guys moving on after last season, he's getting that chance now and making the most of it.
Timeout being taken here on the field with 33 seconds. We're going to stay with you. Don't forget to join us at the half. It's always fun to hear the guys break down the first half, get their perspective on the game. Aaron Hagan, of course, DJ Jordan, Clement Townsend will be sharing their thoughts on how the Flames are playing here in the first half. A hot afternoon. They'll probably be perspiring a little bit out there, but hey, you know, you have your own fan assistant in here.
Somebody here just holding a fan. This is the big time, Mike Till. You know, this is we made it. We arrived.
Oh, it's wonderful. The air conditioning not working in the Norfolk State press box, so it's made it an interesting challenge for a lot of the folks up here. But of course, it's pretty warm on the field too.
Yeah,
I guess
it could be worse. We could not have a fan. We need one of those fans. That's what we need down there.
Yeah.
Our camera crew, they're really the ones that are suffering on a day like this.
3rd and 23. That's Daniels. Daniels, penalty marker thrown, and he's across midfield down to the 48-yard line. A couple of Flames had him, but he was able to break 3 and avoid a couple of potential tacklers. Liberty's taking a timeout here.
We'll try to see if they can't get it back. Maybe go for the block on a punt. This Liberty defense. The defensive line is causing some havoc. 3 sacks for that Liberty D today. 2 of them by the aforementioned Dominic Davis. So they're certainly harassing Irvin and haven't really let him get comfortable in that pocket.
There's Pete Adrian, Norfolk State's head coach, a record of 50 and 53. He's the 3rd winningest coach in Norfolk State history. Just needs 3 wins to become the 2nd winningest coach for the Spartans. And, you know, he's never lost to Liberty. He's 2-0 against the Flames, so he's trying to make it 3-0 here at home. But right now his team is down by 10 with 24 seconds to go in the half. 4th down, punting situation. Shattuck's punting, Parker waving for the fair catch at the 12-yard line. And Liberty will have another opportunity with 17 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, we'll see if they take the opportunity or just take a knee and get to the half with this 10-0 lead. They were coming after the punter that time, but Shattuck gets it away pretty quick. Tough to block when he gets it away that quick.
Liberty had 350-plus yards of total offense last Saturday. 160 rushing, passing 190 yards against the Tar Heels. So far in this game in the first half, Liberty with 153 total offensive yards and Norfolk State with 125 total offensive yards. The Flames now with 17 seconds left in the first half. And it looks like the Flames just going to let the clock run out here as Woodrum takes the knee. So we're going to talk with head coach Turner Gill in just a moment to get his perspective as Liberty is trying to win this in-state non-conference Division I game. It would be the first time since 2003 when the Flames beat Norfolk State 69-21. That game was in Lynchburg, and a lot of records set that year, including some rushing totals we'll get to tell you about in just a minute. But we'll be talking with Coach Turner Gill, getting his perspective. But Matt, how would you sum up this first half?
You know, pretty solid. They moved the ball fairly well against this defense. They often didn't commit any big mistakes that put them in a bad situation. And for the Liberty defense, that defensive line, like I talked about, the 3 sacks, they forced the 2 turnovers. They're in a good position, certainly heading into the half.
Liberty fans making the 200-mile trip from Lynchburg to the coast, and there's the alumni chapter here in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, and I'm sure some of the folks coming over to enjoy that. And you know, they're looking right into the sunshine, the way the sun shines here at the stadium, so they're having a lot of fun. Turner Gill's joining us right now as he heads to the locker room. And coach, the Flames defense playing really tough here this afternoon.
Well, they're playing outstanding. It's great to see those 2 turnovers, and guys are playing well and all that. We just got to get ourselves going a little bit more on the offense, but defense is playing extremely well.
Coach, you knew this Norfolk State defense would be solid. Are you pleased with the way your offense is not really taking a lot of chances, but methodically moving the ball today?
Well, I'm not satisfied with our execution. We got to execute a little bit better. There's always one guy not getting it done. So we'll go in and rectify that here in our halftime report and come back out here in the second half and play better.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Turner Gill joining us in his 3rd year at Liberty University as the Spartan Marching Band makes its way onto the field. They're always a lot of fun to watch and enjoy. Liberty has a 10-0 lead over Norfolk State here at the half. The full halftime activities coming up in a minute on the Liberty Flames Sports Network. Matt Warner back with you on LFSN. Halftime, Liberty leads Norfolk State 10-0, and Matt, Coach Gill right before the half said yes, he was pleased with Liberty's defense, but not so much with the offense in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, not pleased with the offense, and that's a coach being a coach, and you know, you're never pleased, right? You can always do things better, and I agree there were some times where maybe a guy just didn't get a block that he should have that kept a play from picking up positive yardage, but it's not going to be pretty going against this defense of Norfolk State. It's going to be ugly at times. The key is don't make a big mistake that results in a defensive touchdown for the Spartans or them, you know, giving their offense great field position. Don't make that big mistake against this defense. That's the key. It can be ugly, and you're fine winning ugly. And right now, Liberty is 10-0.
Liberty coming back onto the field. There's the Spartans. Let's look at the first half statistics and see how the teams did in terms of yardage, etc. And you can see that Liberty with 151 total yards in this game, and pretty even on time of possession. Those 2 turnovers were pretty big.
Yeah, they were definitely big. And how about the rushing yards? We talked about Liberty being really locked up as far as running the football, and then on the other side, Terrence Irvin, he's been running like crazy. 41 yards on the ground for the freshman quarterback, has them with 87 rushing yards in this game. They've already gone over the total yardage that they had last week by 25. So,
and the Matrix Revolution, that was 2003, by the way.
Was that where was that in the trilogy of the Matrix?
I don't
Mike?
know.
You know?
That's a good question. I don't know. Ask Lindsay that.
Last one I'm hearing in my ears. So
okay.
Good job by our crack statisticians to look that up.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, 2003, the last time Liberty.
It's amazing that movie was the top movie at the box office. That's the amazing thing.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Liberty will be home next Saturday, by the way. So if you're in Central Virginia, that's a 7 p.m. kickoff. So plan to join us at Williams Stadium. It'll be a lot of fun next Saturday night, 7 p.m. This is Tanner Fiano, who's returning this kickoff, tackled nicely by the Flames' number 30, who got there to make the hit on him and bring him down, Dexter Robbins. And so that's where Norfolk State will begin this 3rd quarter, the second half, underway here in Norfolk, Virginia. And, you know, I was just thinking about the atmosphere here at this stadium. So very different than Liberty's atmosphere. And we're going to have a lot of fun enjoying those home games in Lynchburg this year, because it'll be packed out. It seats about 20,000 fans, and the student body comes out, sea of red. It's just huge, and it's a lively environment. So make sure you plan to be there on Saturday. Right now, Liberty's trying to win its first road game of the year, and the handoff is given right up the middle, and running room unstoppable for Polk across the 45 and to the 49-yard line. Terry Polk picks up right where he left off from the first half.
The Spartans came out of the locker room ready to go. Liberty not quite there on this first play from scrimmage. Right up the gut, quick little cutback, and then 2 guys there to make the tackle. Neither of them really wanted to do it, and Polk just split them and ended up with a big play on first down.
1st and 10, 46-yard line. Irvin still in there at quarterback. Polk gets the handoff across midfield. He's down to the 48-yard line into Flames territory, and Norfolk State has come out determined here to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Polk having a strong afternoon on the ground. Again, a guy who is in his entire career had just the 2 carries last week against Maine, and those went for negative yardage. So he's put together a solid afternoon.
In that Maine game a week ago, there were only 2 drives over 40 yards, and that both of those were main drives. So it's interesting to see how the Spartans have been trying to get their offense going here today, and Irvin this time gets back to the original line of scrimmage before he's stopped by a host of Flames, including Onichi there.
Yeah, really, you know, there's been the 2 freshmen, Polk and then the quarterback Irvin, have really stepped up for this offense. So 2 very young guys have played well thus far, even though they don't have any points to show for it.
Liberty player injured here on the field. It's hard to pick it up right there on the replay, but the Flames wearing the white helmets, the white jerseys, and the red pants. One of 27 uniform combinations the Flames have this year, and each game will wear something a little different. That's number 59, Dylan Llewellyn, who was shaken up. We'll be back after this break.
Is any sick among you?
Liberty leads Norfolk 10-0 following that injury timeout. Dylan Llewellyn, number 59, was shaken up, but he's been able to get off the field on his own, and Nick Newman has come in to replace him. As you look at head coach Pete Adrian there, you saw on the sideline last week versus Maine, 58 plays, just 100 yards, and today after the first half, 36 plays, over 100 yards, 125 to be exact. So they've gotten their offense going a little bit better here in this game. Irwin's pass complete to number 88, Isaac White. White is out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and it's going to be a first down there.
Yeah, again, a guy that he's gone to quite often in this ball game. That is on the day catch number 4 for White, as he's put together a nice afternoon and helping his young quarterback out. Just come back to the football. At times, as a receiver, that's all you need to do. Give your quarterback just an opportunity, come back to the football, give him a target. And that time, the young quarterback able to come through.
First down and 10 now for the Spartans. 13:03 to go in the third quarter. That pitch goes back to Daniels. Daniels maybe picked up a yard and a half. It's going to be second down.
A good job by this defense. Reading it quickly, collapsing, coming down, not giving him any room to run, and then wrapping up and taking them down there for just a short pickup on first down. Jerron Green in the mix, the big fella in the middle. That guy, defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly tells me that big kid can do a standing backflip. 6'2", over 300 pounds. I want to see it with my own eyes, but that just kind of tells you the athleticism that he has.
Irwin keeps it here down to the 37-yard line, a gain of about 3 on second down. Gary Sampson making the tackle on him. There's Sampson, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida.
Yeah, Sampson, a guy that really didn't practice a whole lot leading up to the North Carolina game, was banged up a little bit, didn't know if he was going to play, ended up playing against the Tar Heels, came up with a big interception in that ball game, and a nice tackle in space there.
It's going to be third down and 5 for the Spartans. Liberty leading Norfolk State 10-0 here early in the third quarter. Irwin on 3rd and 5. Pressure, and he's sacked back at the 44-yard line. Not letting go of him, Toby Onichi, the redshirt senior, with his second sack of this game.
Defensive line, they're active. They're getting after it today, and look at that. You might want to put a hand on number 95. If he gets a free run at you like that, it's all over. And good effort by the kid Irvin trying to break out of it. But kid, know when you're beat and go down before somebody else comes in there and really cleans your clock.
Fourth and 13 now for the Spartans. Dylan Shaddix back to punt. Zach Parker waves for the fair catch, and on the run catches it at the 21-yard line. And so that's where Liberty will start offensively, at the 21. We're going to take a break right now. 11:02 to go in the third quarter. It's a pretty warm day at the coast of Virginia. Liberty up by 10. Keith.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, I have an update on Dylan Llewellyn. It looks like he's okay so far. The trainer's not with him right now. I think he might have just got his bell rung a little bit. You saw all those guys tackle on top of him. He's sitting here with the rest of the team right now, drinking some water, has a cold towel on him. We'll keep you updated, see if he'll go back in the game.
Thanks, Lindsay. Matt, one of those things that coaches have no control over are injuries. And, boy, they can just tear even a great team apart. You know, really, other than Darren Peterson getting a little bit bumped up, I think, of maybe his left arm down at Carolina against that FBS team, no injuries.
Yeah, and that's key. I mean, you'd love to win that game, but that game isn't going to make or break your season. Basically, you want to come out of that healthy to give yourself a chance in the games that you think you do have a great chance to win, like today. So, yeah, they came out injury-free and now have an opportunity to hopefully stay that way and continue to improve here against the Spartans.
Some of the coaches saying just even the off-season weightlifting and training, Bill Gillespie and that whole group just doing so well in getting this Flames team as in shape as possible. Peterson makes that catch at the 39-yard line.
Great throw and catch, and great job by Peterson walking that tightrope along the sideline, keeping his feet in, coming back, like we talked about earlier, coming back to his quarterback. And there he is, dragging the toe. That's good at the next level as well.
Wow,
the 1 foot in, drag the toe. You only need one in. He got 2 in just to show off.
Perfect throw, perfect catch. Peterson gets back into position there. The junior from Alabama has 4 career 100-plus yard games, and he's got a first down and 10. That's Abner, who he faked it to, and Woodrum now will go to Peterson. Peterson down the field, has it at the 15, first down, Liberty.
And we got a flag on the play as well. I think we may get a late hit on Lyndon Trail as he was closing in on Woodrum. Either that or he was being held. It's in an area where it could have been either one. We'll take a look.
What a great pass. Peterson a little bit shaken up down where he took the catch when he hit the turf.
And it's coming back.
Let's look at it again.
Here it is. Great job selling the fake. You see Trail working right there on Herman. It looks like they get Dexter Herman on the hold. So that's going to bring back what was a fantastic throw and catch. Now you just hope that Peterson is okay as he's struggling to get off the field now. Good thing he's walking under his own power, but shaking up a little bit on that play.
We're just talking about injuries.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had that one situation in the Carolina game where he injured his left arm, and everybody was all concerned. He had a sling on and everything at the end of the game, but they felt like it was nothing significant. It's hard to tell right here what happened. But he's headed over to the sideline, and Liberty now will face a 20-yard first down and 20. The Norfolk State scoreboard folks are having a tough time with the down and distance on the scoreboard and the sort of the chain crews. It's just an odd combination. It's their first home game of the year, and sometimes you have to work out all the kinks from an operations standpoint. But apologize for any miscommunications on some of that stuff. DJ Abner got that carry.
Yeah, remember now, this Spartans defense now has inside linebacker Lamar Neal and strong safety Keenan Lambert back on the field. They were suspended or held out for the first half because of a targeting penalty back in the main game last week. They're now back on the field, so 2 of their starters for an already solid defense now back out there for the Spartans.
Flames with another penalty. Remember, Liberty only had 2 penalties in that whole Carolina game. 19 yards penalized. We've seen a couple of big ones here in this one.
Well, they're moving the wrong direction on this drive, that's for sure. And now you're kind of in that danger zone where you want to play it safe. You don't want to do anything here that gives Norfolk State a chance to create a turnover. So 2nd and 35 right now. You'd be okay if you're just able to kind of punt this thing away at the end of this possession. Just don't do anything that hurts you any worse.
2nd down and 35. That pass complete to Parker. Parker out of bounds. Boy, he was hit hard. He gets up strong, and a little bit of pushing there on the sideline. Parker's teammate, number 2, Abner, comes to his rescue and gets him away from that lunge.
Yeah, Parker is a shifty little receiver. Also handles punt duties a lot of times, returning punts. A quick kid. They want to get the ball in his hands on plays like that. Get him out in space. Give him an opportunity to make people miss. Because he is a quick athlete that can be hard to handle if he has a seam.
3rd down, 25 yards to go. Penalties really backing the Flames up, and so there are 5 wide receivers right now. Josh Woodrum, shotgun formation. Throwing it downfield, partially deflected, and it's incomplete. It's batted at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know about that play. 3rd and 25, as you saw the play there by, that was 33. Lamar Neal, who we mentioned just came back in the second half, who got a hand up and got a piece of that one. But 3rd and 25, you're taking a chance throwing into traffic. A turnover, perhaps, if that ball's deflected just a little bit more. That was a gamble on 3rd and 25. A lot of times you'll see teams just run a draw or something safe. Flames didn't do that.
Trey Turner just able to get that punt away, and it's fielded on the fair catch by Terry Polk. Yeah. At the 29-yard line.
And he's kicking himself because he didn't have anybody around him. He should have taken that thing and gone. He called that fair catch prematurely.
Timeout on the field. 8:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. Liberty on the road this afternoon in Norfolk, Virginia, leading by 10. Liberty leads Norfolk State 10-0. The Flames defense has really been playing well, Matt, in this contest.
Especially Nico Davis getting in there, Toby Onichi. We've heard from Chimu's away. That defensive line has been ferocious here today and really limited too many big plays. We've seen Irving get out and run a couple of times, but the defensive line's been awfully tough, as you saw the sack right there. And certainly the scoreboard shows that out as they're still sitting with the 0.
Hello, I'm Creation.
And I am the theory of evolution.
You know, why is that?
Why is what?
That you're a theory.
Well, because I sort of kind of haven't been proven at all yet.
Well, what do you mean yet?
Well, there's a lot of scientists still trying to prove anything about me.
Oh, how's that coming?
Yeah, not so good.
Not so good?
No.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. What about you?
What, proof?
Well, yeah, why aren't you a theory?
Well, because every design has a designer.
Ah, but what if that design is random?
That's not possible.
It has to be.
Why? Hey, look, it's the missing link.
What?
You're just sorry. Now that's random.
Guys coming back on the field after halftime, and their heads were held high. They sing this little chant before they go on the field. They say, I wouldn't be a Flame. I'll tell you why. I was born a Spartan, and I'll be a Spartan till the day I die. So hopefully that pride will carry them through. Back to you guys.
Well, Aaron Daniels has some pride right there, Lindsay. He's across the 30-yard line on 1st down. Nice run for the redshirt sophomore from St. Louis, Missouri. Andrew Yock making that tackle on him.
Yeah, unfortunately, pride doesn't always convert into points, and that's what they need more than anything right now as they trail in this one 10-0.
Quarterback who started this game and stays out there is Irvin. He hands it off to Daniels again. Daniels across the 35 up to the 36-yard line. A nice 5+ yard run on 1st down. And it seems like Norfolk State's done a good job on their side of the field, but as soon as they get into Flames territory, Liberty just shuts them down every time.
It's true. It's almost you've heard that term, bend but don't break defense. I don't know if I would go that far with these Flames, but yeah, you're right. They give up a couple of plays, maybe a 1st down, and then they bear down and make plays just like the one we see right there.
That's Polk who has the carry, but a penalty marker thrown by the head referee. It's a holding against the Spartans, and it's going to move them back right now.
And for this offense, that's just a killer. For them, picking up positive yardage on 1st down is critical, because if you get in 3rd and long, their passing game certainly suspect, and there's not a lot of good things happening there. As we take another look at this one, you see a couple guys get tripped up maybe. I didn't see it in that mess, but either way, they're backing up.
We've just been told that right tackle for the Spartans, Darcel Whitaker, has been shaken up, and so he's off to the sideline right now, and Thornton Collier is in his place for the Spartans as they face a 2nd down and 16. And Irvin wants to throw, dumps it out to Daniels. 20, 25, nice move by Daniels. 30, but out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Aaron Daniels has become a favorite target here as of late.
Yeah, and a nice play design as he was all by himself out in the flat. They thought he was going to try to stay and give a little chip block. He had to make one man miss, and he did just that. Ends up picking up nice yardage there to bring up a 3rd down, and certainly more manageable than it was previously.
Daniels had his first career start at Maine last week. 7 rushes, 16 yards in that game. 3rd down and 6. Irvin wants to throw again. Keeps it. Has the 1st down, sliding to the 42.
I mean, honestly, with this guy, Irvin, what we've seen from him today, you're almost better off just trying to force him to stay in the pocket, because we haven't seen him throw the ball down the field with a whole lot of effectiveness. So when you're rushing past him, when you're kind of getting out of position a little bit, not being real disciplined, and you leave those running lanes, that's where he's had more success today. If you just stay basically in your position, if you're just disciplined and stay in your lane and force him to sit in that pocket and throw, he at least today hasn't been real comfortable sitting there and picking apart a defense.
Daniels carries to the 49-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Norfolk State picked 6th in the MEAC this year. Bethune-Cookman and South Carolina State picked up the top of the MEAC.
And this offense only brought back 3 starters from last season, 3 regular starters, so a lot of new faces out there for this team, and they're kind of trying to figure it out as they go along.
2nd down, Polk gets the handoff. He's wrapped up nicely at the 47-yard line. Jacob Hagan was in there defensively.
Polk's, he's kind of a shifty little back. Got kind of in the hole there, made a couple moves, picked up a couple more yards, and again, this offense, they've shown you some flashes, and apparently Coach Pete Adrian has seen enough from Terrence Irvin to let him handle all the quarterbacking duties to this point. Again, we thought we were going to see multiple quarterbacks today, and to this point, Irvin he hasn't put any points on the board, but he's done enough to stay in the ball game. Or maybe the other guys did enough last week that coach knows they don't need to be in the ball game, one way or the other.
Irvin hands it off to Polk, and he's wrapped up right at the 48-yard line. Number 5, Gary Sampson with that tackle. And you're right, Coach Adrian was saying that if whoever he started, if they were moving the offense and playing good, he was going to keep them in there for the game, because they're really trying to find that starting quarterback, and right now they're relying on a freshman.
Yeah, you want that one guy. We all heard the phrase, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. If you have 4 quarterbacks, you have, -2? I don't know how the math works out, but yeah, you want that one guy that you can rely on, that your team can rally around, and that you know what you're going to get from him game in and game out.
Norfolk State having to use its first time out of the second half. Something not going well offensively there as they get ready to face a 2nd down and 8. You're going to want to make sure you join us next Saturday. If you're in Central Virginia, you need to make your way over to Williams Stadium. If you're outside of driving distance, then make sure you connect with us on LFSN television, as Liberty will be at home, the first home game of the year, to host Brevard. That's a 7 p.m. airtime on many of these same LFSN television stations and video outlets. 7 p.m. next Saturday as Liberty takes on Brevard. Any thoughts about that game coming up next Saturday?
I think there'll be a lot more points than what we've seen today. That's what I would suggest. So if you like offense and you like the home team, that might be a good one to come out to.
On the 20th, Liberty will host Bryant, and then we'll go on the road with the Flames September 27th at Indiana State. That's a 3 p.m. game. And then everybody's excited about October 4th. It's homecoming in Lynchburg as the Flames take on the University of Richmond at homecoming game October 4th. If you're anywhere in driving distance of that one, folks, you need to be there. It may be the best game of the year. As Irvin keeps it here across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. Onichi again making that tackle.
Great pursuit by Onichi. As the quarterback Irvin rolled out, was thinking about running. Onichi bearing down on him, showing a little closing speed from the big fella. Able to wrap him up and keep him to just a 2-yard gain here. Look at the big man move.
Third down, 7. Onichi lines up. Getting a breather there. Third down, 7. 4 wide receivers for the quarterback, Terrence. And he's trying to get away. He's still on his feet, being chased. Headed down the field, and he falls.
Oh, no, are you kidding me?
After all of that.
Well, if the Flames can't get him, the turf will. Or was that his own man?
We might have to see that again. This natural turf, I don't know if you can tell on television, but it's very dry and very thin, and we've been wondering how it would impact the game. Let's see if the Flame gets a hand on it.
They had a couple of shots at him, weren't able to get him there or there, and then just got a piece. It looks like, was that Nico Davis there getting in on the end? Yep, that's a sack you'll take right there. Just get a fingertip on it.
A two-finger tackle there. The punt fielded by Parker, fair catch at the 25-yard line. You always wonder how the sun impacts the sideline. It's always funny how the home team always makes sure that the sun is facing and pouring right into the eyes of the opponent, and that's certainly the case here. And when you get back to Williams Stadium in an afternoon game, if you're a visiting team, you're going to get the sunlight in your face too.
Yeah, and I've been a little bit surprised. I mean, it's like we talked about, a really hot day in the 90s here, but we haven't seen maybe the effects of that, at least as far as guys cramping up on the field as much to this point. Now we are entering the latter stages here of the third quarter, so that could be a factor down the stretch. But to this point, we haven't seen a whole lot of that.
3.5 minutes now to go in the third quarter. Liberty with the football. Woodrum handing it off to Abner, and Abner makes his way to the 30-yard line, a gain of about 4 on first down. One of the officials whistling a dead ball here.
Again, with this lead, 10-0 lead, the Flames just need to avoid making a costly mistake. It sounds boring, it sounds safe, but with how little we've seen from Norfolk State's offense, safe is the way to go. It may not be pretty at this point, but just keep that clock moving, keep moving the chains if you can, and trust that your defense can finish the job when it comes down to it.
Liberty lines up for a second down 6. Woodrum's going to throw it this time, looking downfield, and he's going to be caught and sacked back at the 20-yard line. One of the defenders got his hands on his ankle, and Woodrum could not get away, and then got some help. Number 53 is Deion King, the junior linebacker from Reston, Virginia.
Yeah, Woodrum was looking downfield, but you could tell he was running out of time, and eventually just ducked his head and ended up taking the sack. King last year actually led this team in sacks with 9.5.
He sort of plays in the shadow of Lyndon Trail, doesn't he? I mean, Trail gets all the attention, but King's a good player. Woodrum now, third down and 16.
Again, spreading it out on third and really long.
Steps up, throws, complete to Dexter Herman across the 40 and up to the 43-yard line. That's a first down for the Flames.
Seen some good things from Dexter Herman today. Of course, he had the one diving catch that then was ruled not a catch, but it was a great play. It looked like it may have very well been a catch earlier in the ball game. He's had a couple of receptions. Really looked good today. Kendall Kuhlman, he and Herman have kind of split time at the tight end position. We saw one catch from Kuhlman today, but Herman has really stepped up in that role this afternoon.
Minute 42 to go in the third quarter.
Oh, wait. Peterson back out on the field. We saw him leave the last possession with an apparent injury. Good to see him back out there for the Flames.
Woodrum gives it to Abner. Abner tackled at midfield. 5 yards, actually a 6-yard gain for Abner. And good stop by number 23. That's Marcel Cote, the senior from Orlando, Florida. He had a 41-yard fumble return for a TD in the win over Liberty back in 2012. He was the leading tackler last year for the Spartans.
Another penalty going to back the Flames up, as that has been an issue here. As you see, maybe there's the effects of this hot weather and the hard hits, as well as you saw DJ Abner trying to collect himself over on the sidelines.
Ball set at the 35-yard line.
At the 35-yard line.
That'll make it 2nd down and 19. Actually 1st down because of the penalty, so it's 1st down and 19. Woodrum looking downfield, and it's incomplete. Dante Shells was there, but it's ruled incomplete.
Yeah, again, good job covering downfield for this Norfolk State defense. Woodrum, as a quarterback, you kind of have that clock in your head. You know, once he gets to a certain time, you better do something. Whether it's get out of the pocket, run, get the ball out of your hands, something. And with this defense and the talent that they have on the Spartan side, you know that something is going to end up with you on the ground if you don't get rid of it in a hurry. And that time he was forced to throw it. And unfortunately for Woodrum, it sailed a little bit wide. He's 11 of 20 on the day, 168 yards right now.
He came into this game needing 264 to reach 5,000 passing yards in his career. So another 100, and he'll do that. We'll see if he can do it here in the 2nd half. Not much running room there for the receiver. Actually, a loss of a yard or two.
You know, we haven't seen that much. Just kind of those little swing passes or those quick, passes out to the flats. Because this defense is so rangy, so athletic, they're able to close that down in a hurry. So we saw right there why you haven't seen a whole lot of that today. Because this swarming defense rallies to the ball, and you're not going to pick up much on that. You're not going to out-quick them to the sidelines.
Darren Peterson over 1,000 career yards receiving. 3rd down and 20 for the Flames. Josh Woodrum always uses that play clock effectively, and this time he's going to have to take a timeout. He uses every second.
When you have a lead, you might as well.
Yeah, so make sure you plan to be at Williams Stadium next Saturday, if at all possible, because it's going to be fun to be back home. The first home game of the year. Liberty, of course, opening this year, Matt, on the road at Carolina last week and Norfolk State.
Yeah.
So, it's a little different this year. I mean, we haven't experienced that in a while. When you start on the road, folks back in your hometown, just not yet able to fully engage, till they got a home game.
Yeah, was it the first time since 03 that the Flames have started on the road in back-to-back games, and that's why today's so important too. You want to get that win to give your fan base something to get fired up about as you do return home. You don't want to limp home 0-2. So another reason that this game is so important for Liberty.
Let's see what Liberty's done per possession here in this game. They had to punt early on, then they had that nice drive, settled for a field goal, a couple more punts, the TD, punt, and right now on a 5-play, 8-yard drive.
So only twice have they picked up double-digit yards in a drive, and those 2 drives resulted in points. So, I mean, this defense is tough. We said it. They were one of the best defenses in the country last year and 13th in the nation in yards allowed, and they brought back a lot of talent. But you're leading, and that's the main thing. Winning ugly, you take it.
And one thing Liberty hasn't done is turn it over as Woodrum throws it downfield and almost picked it off. Almost spoke too soon. Dante Hainsworth almost picked that one off, but it's incomplete, and the Flames are going to have to punt. But one thing Liberty hasn't done is turn it over in this game, and of course Norfolk State has been so good at forcing offenses to turn it over.
Yeah, and Woodrum tried to pull out his best Eli Manning here from the Super Bowl a few years back. There's a reason you don't see that happen very often, because usually on plays like that, bad things end up happening, and a bad thing almost did happen there as Dante Hainsworth had the ball in his hands and was unable to bring it in. A missed opportunity for Norfolk State, because honestly, the way their offense plays, you need your defense to come up with the big play in this game.
And that's the way the 3rd quarter ends. So we'll take a break and come back for the final 15 minutes. As Liberty led it 10-0 at the half, it's still 10-0.
In the 2nd half, North Carolina Central.
Back in Norfolk, Virginia, Liberty leads Norfolk 10-0. The end of the third quarter. We're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. And Liberty is facing a fourth down and about 20. So the Flames are going to have to punt it away here. Trey Turner in to punt. The redshirt freshman punter from Rome, Georgia. And he gets it away again. Boy, it's been close several times in this game. Hits at the 30-yard line, out of bounds inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. And that's where Norfolk State will try to do something offensively. It's only a 10-point game. I know Norfolk State has not been able to do too much offensively inside Flames territory, but I mean, this game is not over yet.
Yeah, it's a 10-point game, but it feels more like a 20-point game just because of the way this offense is played and the way the Liberty defense has come through. As we take a look at the stats in this ball game from the third through the third quarter. Again, this offense for Norfolk State struggling, although not on the ground. 142 rushing yards and total yards almost even. So really it's those two drives for the Flames that have made all the difference, and really the one drive was compliments of that Jacob Hagan interception. It's all about limiting the mistakes.
Turnovers really hurt the Spartans early on. That's number 2 who's got the football, and
comes a late hit.
Damon Smith, late penalty marker thrown. Smith out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Are they going to tack on a 15-yard penalty here? Jacob Hagan made the tackle.
See what the call is. Yeah.
Defense, number 59, late hit out of bounds. 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Dylan Llewellyn.
Yeah, just got him along the sideline. And again, I mean, at this point in the game, it's about limiting the mistakes and not giving Norfolk State any free yardage. Make them earn it on their own. Unnecessary hit along the sideline gives them a free 15.
Moves it into Flames territory, and this is about where the Spartans have stalled every time this afternoon, but they have got to do something here if they want to get back in the football game. Daniels with the handoff, trying to get around the end, and he may have picked up a yard on the play to the 45.
A great job just stringing that out by the defense, forcing him to keep cutting it further and further toward outside towards the sideline. Eventually the defense able to catch him, take him down. Nick Sigmund, he's always around the ball, it seems, able to get in there on the tackle, and just a short pickup on first down for the Spartans.
Daniels has 60 yards rushing. There's Sigmund on defense. You know who the top rusher is so far in the game for the Spartans? Don't look at your stat page.
I would say it's probably the quarterback, Irvin. Is that right?
You are right on target. Terrence Irvin, 73 yards rushing in this game to lead all the rushers, actually for both teams. Daniels to the 42. Third down.
Looked like that may have been Nick Newman kind of torpedoing in there to trip him up just a little bit after that handoff. But another third down, and you start to think, you start looking up at the clock, 13:30 to go in the game. No points on the board. They're in Flames territory. Could they be getting to a point where they're thinking about, you know, this could be 4-down territory for them? You just don't know how many more opportunities this offense is going to get.
Third down and 7. Irvin in trouble. He's going to be sacked. Irvin is sacked at the 44-yard line by Jerron Green.
Big fella. He's eating today. Jerron Green, the big man in the middle, just powering, bulldozing his way back into the quarterback to pick up the sack. And what a day for this defensive line. Again, the young quarterback gave a couple looks, pulled it down, was probably going to try to take off, and no room to run as the big man Green. And that looked like, was that Nico Davis there again? That man's been everywhere today.
Green, 6'2", 310 pounds, and the sophomore from Beaumont, Texas, forces the Spartans to punt on 4th and 16. Parker lets this one go out of bounds, and Liberty defensively has stopped the Spartans again.
They just seem to have a knack for making that big play when they need it most.
Timeout on the field, 12:27 to play in this college football game in Norfolk, Virginia. It's Liberty, 10-0. Liberty leads Norfolk State 10-0. It's about 12:27 to go in the fourth quarter as you look from behind the Spartans sideline over to Josh Woodrum, Liberty's outstanding quarterback, the junior out of Roanoke, Virginia, and he's getting his offense ready to do something here in the final minutes of the game. It's 1st and 10. Flames start at their own 19-yard line. Gabe Henderson split out to the near side of the field. That's Abner, though, who gets the pitch, makes his way to the 19. Been a few sacks in this football game, Matt, and Liberty's been creating them. Yeah,
the defensive line has gone to work. It hasn't been on the other side. It hasn't been the big man Lyndon Trail we talked about creating all the sacks. It's been this Liberty defensive line. Onichi has 2, Uzowehi 1.5. We've seen Nico Davis get in there a couple of times, and then Jerron Green, the big fella, cleaning it up here to end this last drive. This defensive line, everyone across the board on the defensive line has had a big contribution.
Spartans hoping they can create a sack here against the Flames. We'll see what happens on 2nd down and 10. Abner just able to really get back to the original line of scrimmage on that last play. Woodrum going to have to scramble. He's going to keep it. 25, 30, 35. Penalty marker thrown as he runs out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Dante Shells trying to appeal to the official here.
And, you know, from what I saw at the end of that play, that would be a weak holding call. Maybe he got him more so earlier before I looked down and saw him. But basically, he was just standing in the way. And unfortunately, it looks like this call may go against the Flames. They're discussing it right now.
The officials from the MEAC, the head referee, who we've heard from a good bit in this game, is Steve Kinney. And they've had quite a few group meetings, too, on the field.
They meet more than the PTA. They get together all the time in this ball game, and you hope they get it right in the end. Defense.
10 yards.
I didn't see that one coming, and I don't think the Flames did either. Hey, you'll take it.
Yeah, that's a hold, isn't it?
And Shells was afraid that he was the one being called for the hold because he was complaining to the official, so he thought it was more on him than it was the defender. But yeah, absolutely.
Well, that moves it to the 47-yard line. Turner Gill's team leading 10-0. There's that defense huddled over there. 1st down, 10. Parker's in there. He gets the reverse handoff midfield into the 47-yard line. A gain of about 4 yards.
They're trying to get something going on the ground any way they can. That's the 2nd time we've seen that handoff to Parker. Able to get some positive yardage on 1st down.
Coaches are really high on Parker. He's a sophomore from Reston, Virginia. Played high school ball at South Lakes High School, and they've put him back there to return kickoffs most of the time, and he's not really had a lot of opportunities here.
No, but he's one of those guys that you can see the potential, you can see the quickness, and just how shifty he is as a runner.
Dexter Herman getting set. Woodrum on 2nd down gives it to Abner. 46-yard line, a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd down.
Clock ticks under 10.5 minutes. Liberty now across midfield. Brings up 3rd down, but I mean, you think worst case scenario, you punt and you pin Norfolk State deep, and you just keep playing to this lead and force them to try to make something happen offensively.
There's Josh Woodrum's numbers, 12 of 22, 168 yards in this game. Todd Macon has come into the lineup for Liberty.
I haven't seen as much of him today as we thought we might.
Abner's been out there most of the game. Woodrum looking down the field, and it's incomplete. Knocked away by the defender right at the 25-yard line. Peterson was the intended receiver, but it looked like number 25, I think it was, Keenan Lambert.
Yeah, Lambert, he was out for the first half. A strong safety. Lambert's actually the brother of Seattle Seahawks safety Cam Chancellor. Bam Bam Cam, they call him, for the Super Bowl champs. And that's his brother there. Lambert plays the same position. They're very close. Made a nice play there, and they, wish they had him in the first half, but he's making plays now that he's on the field.
He's 2nd team all MEAC. Trey able to get that one away. Again, a high punt. It'll hit at the 5-yard line, and the Flames are going to down it at the 1. Now that's pretty good special teams play.
You can't do it any better than that.
Perfect. I think Coach Gill's probably smiling right now about that one. 9:37 to play in this game. It's Liberty in a defensive struggle. 10-zip.
Hi, this is Jake.
From the 1-yard line, then, as you look at those possessions for Norfolk State, a fumble, a couple of punts, just a lot of punting here today.
Yeah, their punter, he got, I think, 8 punts last week, and he's got his work in this week as well. Need to ice that leg.
Liberty created a safety against Carolina, you remember, a week ago, and boy, Norfolk State is in a vulnerable position right here. The quarterback, Terrence Irvin, keeps that and trying to get away from the goal line, picks up maybe a yard. It's going to be 2nd down.
Yeah, just give yourself a little bit of breathing room at this point. Again, the clock, a big enemy for you. 9:20 left on the clock. 2-possession game. 98 yards to go. 99 yards to go. It's in a good spot.
Second down 9. That handoff to Daniels, maybe another yard gain. It's going to be 3rd down and long.
It's by far the worst field position of the day for Norfolk State. In the first half, they actually had good field position, some good opportunities, just weren't able to take advantage. At this point, though, at this stage in the ball game, I know you're backed up at your own 2, and it's 3rd and 9, but I mean, I almost think you don't have any choice but to pass and try to pick up a 1st down. Playing it safe at this point, you kick it back to the Flames. Their offense gets it. They use another 4 minutes or so off the clock. Then you're really in a world of hurt. So you're in a bad spot, but you almost have to take a chance at this point, and looks like they will.
3rd and 9. Irvin throwing it down the field, and it's incomplete, intended for Damon Smith, and it was just outside of his grasp.
That's exactly what I was talking about. You had to take a chance. They did. The defense bit a little bit on that fake, and Smith got behind the defense. He had him. And for the 2nd time today, Irvin with a man deep and wide open couldn't connect. That's just a young guy maybe getting a little over anxious when he sees a guy that wide open. But that would have gone 98 to the house if he's able to connect on that pass.
Damian Smith not able to be the hero here for the Spartans. Couldn't quite get to it. And this Norfolk State team facing a 4th down and 9. They're going to have to punt out of the end zone. Dylan Shaddix. Now, will Liberty try to block it? No. Penalty marker was thrown. And it looks like a delay of game. You can't back up much closer to the goal line here. Liberty didn't seem to be rushing to block.
You know what, at this point, it's more important that you don't commit a dumb penalty that allows them to pick up a 1st down than it is to block the punt. So, yeah, just don't get anything where you're running into the kicker or anything like that.
Able to get it away. Parker retreating to midfield. Struggles with it, but able to hold on to it, and he's going down. You could tell he was trying to decide whether to fair catch it or not, looking right into the sun, and in the end, almost in trouble, but he was able to keep his composure. Justin Gant got there to make the tackle on him. 7:57 to go in the 7:57. Back in a minute.
Welcome to Creation Minute. I'm Eric Hoven. What is science? Webster says science is knowledge derived from observation and study. So is evolution part of science? Depends on what you mean. There are 6 different definitions of evolution. Cosmic evolution is the origin of time, space, and matter. Chemical evolution is the origin of all the elements we have today. Stellar evolution is the origin of the stars and planets. Organic evolution is the origin of life from non-life. Macroevolution is the origin of the major kinds of animals and plants. Then microevolution is simple variations within the kinds. Microevolution is the only one that's ever been observed and tested. The rest are not part of science. So is evolution part of science? Depends on what you mean. To learn more about creation, visit us at creationminute.com.
A big part of that defense is Lyndon Trail, what some have called the FCS version of Jadeveon Clowney. But what you may not know about him is that he's a mass comms major. He actually has his own radio station here at Norfolk State, a sports radio station, which is called On the Trail with Lyndon Trail. And this guy is full of personality. When he found out his team was slated to finish 6th overall out of 11 teams, he said, well, that's ridiculous. Get comfortable. We're like a pillow, so go ahead and get comfortable. Unfortunately, Liberty's kind of getting comfortable on them here today.
What a great story. I didn't know he had his own radio station. I mean, goodness, what's next? Liberty with the football here at the 48-yard line. Woodrum's going to put it downfield. Peterson makes the catch at the 35-yard line. That's a 25-yard play for the Flames.
Oh, just a perfect throw and catch. A little bit of kind of a skinny post there. Peterson ran. Peterson gone over 1,000 yards receiving in his career in this ball game. Needed just 19 yards coming in, and a good throw and catch there as they're moving the ball. Hey, it wouldn't hurt to add a few points here, but the main thing really, just keep eating up that clock with this 10-0 lead.
First down and 10 for the Flames from the 35-yard line. High backfield behind Woodrum. Motion was Kuhlman. That handoff to the second back, Abner across the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Another first down for the Flames.
Yeah, and that may be the longest run of the day for the Flames. I think their longest run before that was about 7 yards. Finally, a little bit of running room. Abner saying, man, nobody's all over me as soon as I get the ball. This is kind of nice. Able to show off that speed, that little bit of shake there as he got the handoff in the backfield. Marcel Koch finally wrapped him up and took him down, but a nice run for DJ Abner. This rush attack for the Flames hasn't really been able to get off the ground here today.
First down 10 for the Flames. Abner trying to leap, and he was caught and pulled down. Those of you who care about Virginia and Richmond, Virginia has beaten Richmond today 45-13, and then Liberty's opponent next week lost today to Western Carolina. Western Carolina beat Brevard 45-21. The Flames, of course, will be playing at 7 p.m. next Saturday at Williams Stadium against Brevard. 6:16 to go in this game. Second down and 10 for the Flames. Shadows being cast all over this field because of the buildings surrounding the stadium. Liberty's in the shadow at the moment. Woodrum steps into the sunlight, throws across the field. It's caught at the 10-yard line, 5, and touchdown as a penalty marker is thrown. That's Abner who made that catch, but a penalty marker has been thrown on the other side of the field.
Gabe Henderson pointing at Norfolk State as if maybe there was some type of cheap shot involved there during that play, and he seems to think this play will stand. But what a beautifully designed play by the Flames. The throw back across the field to Abner, who made one man miss and went in for the score. As these officials decide, let's get together and talk one more time.
The result of the play is a touchdown. We have a personal foul. Defense, number 16. That penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
Let's look at that again as Woodrum finds Abner for 22 yards on this score.
Rolling all the way across the field and then dropping it back into the arms of Abner. He had one man to beat, and that was number 28, Troy Hughes, and he shook him to get in the end zone from 22 yards out.
Avery Eccles in for the extra point. He's been perfect in his college career. And that streak continues.
You tried to jinx him, didn't you? You were trying. You were trying hard.
Liberty leads at 17-0 over Norfolk State. You might be wondering, when's the last time that Liberty shut out another opponent? Well, we'll tell you when we come back after the break. 5:52 to play in this game in Norfolk, Virginia.
Ever wish there was a daily program that covered your favorite sports?
And favorite teams, but didn't just stop with the scores and standings?
Well, we've got you covered with Game On. You won't miss a touchdown, home run, or rim-rattling dunk.
But we'll take you deeper into the lives of athletes and coaches to learn what motivates, drives, and anchors them in the game.
You'll discover their lives outside the lines and inside their Christian life.
Sports with a bold attitude of faith. We've got your ticket right here. Join us for Game On.
Back in Norfolk, Virginia, Liberty now leads Norfolk State 17-0. You know, Josh Woodrum had a rushing touchdown in the first half. He adds a passing touchdown here.
The whole defense moving the direction that he was rolling, and then the perfectly thrown ball. DJ Abner, so good in space.
Abner scoring the touchdown.
The world-class Holy Land Experience Center for the Arts is now open. Be taught by the very best and sharpen your skills in praise and worship, acting, all forms of dance, and more. Classes are being offered 7 days a week. Space is limited, so act now. Call 800-447-7235 to sign up and to learn more. Make this the place where your talents can soar.
Yeah, we're talking about when's the last time Liberty has shut out an opponent. Any guess, Matt? I don't know if you've been thinking about that during the break.
I'm going to say versus Kentucky Wesleyan on October 1st, 2011.
Well,
Am I close? Am I close?
Here's the trick thing, because this is a non-conference shutout.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, you were
what were you talking about?
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's it right there. That graphic is correct. But last year, Liberty shut out Gardner-Webb. Of course, a Big South opponent, 24-0.
Well, yeah, that's
so anyway, details. And the kickoff out of the end zone. A couple of those today.
Yeah, Blanchard, after kicking that one out of bounds there early in the game, has looked much better.
Now, John Lunsford, of course, has been in a 2-game suspension to start this year. It'll be interesting to see if he'll be kicking off next Saturday, with Blanchard doing a pretty good job in this game.
Yeah, you know, Turner Gills kind of said he's back, but his spot isn't. So it's not like he was having his spot saved. He had made the statement to me, if Eccles is doing his job, which to this point he has, and the opportunities he's been given, that's his job to keep, and I would imagine it's the same way for kickoff duties, unless Lunsford really wows them in practice once he returns. I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, Blanchard has looked better here later in this ball game.
Spartans set up on offense. First down and 10. That's Irvin staying in at quarterback. In trouble. Going to have to scramble a little bit. Fakes the pass and goes down at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 5 yards for the quarterback. Liberty's defense just playing tough right up the middle, not giving up too much here in this game. He looks tired.
I would be too with as much running as he's done. He's probably run 5 miles around this field here today as he's been scrambling for his life most of the afternoon. Hasn't had much success slinging the rock, but I think that the future is bright for this kid. I do like what I have seen so far.
That was a nice tackle by Nick Newman as well for the Flames. On second down, a little pushing and shoving over there.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little chippy now. If this score holds, it'll be 6 total points for Norfolk State in their first 2 ball games. Last year, NSU scored a total of 168 points on the season. That was last in the MEAC. Compare that to Liberty. Liberty scored 447. In fact, Liberty scored more points in 3 games than the Spartans scored on the entire season. So this kind of gives you an idea of just the offensive struggles that this program has had here recently.
Third down and 1. Irvin trying to carry. He might be a foot short of the first down. It'll just depend on the spot. You see the chains on the far side of the field.
He's pointing, trying to sell it, and it looks like they may give it to him. It's going to be close. Yeah, they're moving those chains. So picking up a first down as Nick Sigmund there in on the tackle.
There's Nick Sigmund, senior from Roanoke, Virginia. Leading tackler, has over 180 tackles in his career. First down and 10 for the Spartans. Irvin in trouble, dances away, penalty marker thrown. Daniels makes the catch, 45, 50, 45, down to the 42-yard line. But another penalty marker was thrown at the line of scrimmage.
And when Daniels gets a full head of steam,
yeah, he was fast,
I don't want to get in his way, man.
Hagan and Newman in on that tackle.
What's the number?
Oh, boy.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense, number 67, 15-yard penalty, previous spot, still first down.
So they had a big play, and it goes back,
Yeah. I mean, they have had chances. You talk about the 2 deep balls they've missed on. Play like that, called back because of penalties. They haven't had many chances, but the ones they have had, they haven't been able to take advantage.
So it'll be first down and 25 from the 20-yard line with 3:45 to go in this game. Liberty on top 17-0. Irvin throwing downfield, way downfield. Nobody's even close, and it'll be second down, 25.
Yeah, and he took a shot after he let go of that football. He's slow to get up. Nick Sigmund getting in there and drilling the young fella right as he let go of the ball. Probably had something to do with it sailing high out of his hand. But this defense right now, they can pin their ears back. They know what's coming. They know Norfolk State has to pass this ball to have any shot of getting back into it whatsoever. So this defensive line just pin their ears back and getting after the quarterback.
Second down, 25 for Norfolk State. Irvin handing it off. Daniels, 30, 32, and tackled right at the 32-yard line. Liberty's defense giving up a few yards, but not giving up the first down there. Number 6 making the tackle for the Flames. That's Holloway. Used to seeing number 6 on Josh Woodrum, so it gets a little confusing when you see a number 6 on defense, right? Tyron Holloway. It's going to be third down and 13. Irvin, pressure again, has to step up, and he's going to be sacked at the 24-yard line.
Chima time.
He's the sack machine. Chima Uzowehi with another sack.
This defensive line, I mean, what a day they've had. Filling that stat sheet today, Chima just abusing the offensive lineman, pushing him out of the way, a clean pass to the quarterback, and then says, "You're done, kid. You're done."
6'2", 250 pounds in his junior season.
And this is the type of game they expected from him. They thought this season, now an upperclassman, he was going to take his game to a whole nother level. And tonight we've certainly seen that.
The punt. Dakota Kelly has come in to return this one, but doesn't have the opportunity. Dakota Kelly, of course, the younger brother of the well-known Pat Kelly, who used to wear a Liberty uniform. And so with 2:26 to go in this game, Flames are feeling pretty good there on the sidelines.
Yeah, they have reason to be. You know, all the talk about this Norfolk State defense and the Liberty defense has kind of stolen the headlines. We haven't talked nearly as much about Lyndon Trail maybe as we thought we would. He's made some plays, been around the ball a little bit, but certainly has been far from a dominating force for the Spartans. And, you know, this was a really important game for the Flames. We talked about it. They didn't play perfect, but they've certainly played well enough and gotten the job done and avoided the costly mistake, which we said time and time again, and they have done that in this ball game, and they're in a great position to pick up their first win of the season.
Woodrum gives it to Abner. The Flames probably will just try to run out the clock here. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining, but Liberty with a 17-0 lead. Todd Macon has checked back into the lineup, and we'll see him. Look at the trail of dust. 25 career games. And what he's done today.
Yeah, they've really done a good job of neutralizing him. And you know what? A streak is going to come to an end today for Norfolk State. They created a turnover in 20 straight games coming into this one with the Flames. And you know what? Liberty doing their job. And it's that hanging on to the football they talked about was so important. They weren't able to do it against North Carolina. Today, back to what they're best at, which is limiting those turnovers.
Spartans jumping off sides on 2nd down and 4 as Macon got the call. Liberty's going to get that monkey off its back too about beating a non-conference Division I in-state opponent and doing it in really this defensive struggle. I mean, Liberty scored 29 points against the University of North Carolina. The team ranked 23rd in the country, FBS football, and here this powerful Norfolk State defense has kept Liberty to 17 points.
Yeah, you know, then you start kind of making those comparisons, which are always dangerous, but a top 25 FCS team in Maine only won 10-6 over this Norfolk State squad at home. Liberty coming on the road. Looks like they're going to win 17-0. So, I mean, make what you want from that. But Liberty doing a good job here today against a team that gave a top 25 FCS team some trouble.
Liberty's clearly, although not ranked in the top 25 in FCS right now, is clearly a top 25 caliber team as Todd Macon gets the call. Another penalty marker, I think, was thrown on 1st down and 10. 1:09 to play in this game.
And, you know, Liberty has a chance now with the way their schedule stacks up to go on a nice little run here. You've talked so much leading up to that Richmond game on October 4th. They got a chance here to do something special here these next few ball games.
Last win versus Norfolk State 3,953 days ago. Who put that together?
Where were you 3,953?
We're watching that Matrix movie.
Yeah, there you were. Yeah, you're sitting out with a bucket of popcorn. What is going on? Norfolk State, what is happening here? I mean, we just forgot the rules of the game here. Is that 3 straight offsides? What are we doing?
Oh, everybody's a little too hot out here. Hey, you know, the sun's not on the field anymore. Sun's about to set on the Spartans.
I mean, I realize our programming block goes to 7:30, but they're not helping us out that much with these back-to-back-to-back offsides penalties. I mean, we can do the rest on our own. This is ridiculous.
36.
They're fixing the clock, moving it from 46 seconds to 36 seconds, I think, correct?
Yeah, they are. The 10-second runoff. This is also, if I'm not mistaken, right, this is the first non-conference road win for Turner Gill since he became head coach here for the Flames as well. So a lot of nice little or dubious streaks, I guess, if you will, coming to an end. You mentioned all the days it's been since they beat Norfolk State. That coming to an end, and then a nice victory on the road against a non-conference opponent for Coach Gill today as well.
Liberty, of course, playing much more competitive teams. North Carolina this year, Wake Forest last year, NC State prior to that, and Wake Forest. I mean, just playing at the FBS level, and it's a good win for the Flames. Josh Woodrum getting the victory after the disappointing 4 minutes of disaster time at Carolina last week, and the Flames defense just playing well. Turner Gill picking up the win and giving a handshake to the head coach there, Pete Adrian. Just a good win for the Flames program. Their first win of the 2014 season, the first of what I think will be many wins. As you said, I mean, they're going to be home now for a couple of weeks against some not really opponents at this level.
Yeah, and you can't get to 8, 9, 10 wins if you don't get number 1. So getting that first one is huge. Getting it on the road against a team that, you know, can cause some problems, certainly on the defensive side of the ball, like we said. Sparky's still going strong. You know what? 90 degrees, no big deal. Sparky's still going strong, and the Flames, they did everything they needed to today to pick up a very important win for them.
Well, the Flames, I guess, just turned up the heat, took the temperature over 90 degrees and scored 17 points while shutting out the Spartans. 0 points for those guys today. Post-game show next.
The best wedding, it was...
Mike Tilley and Matt Walker back with you on the, or excuse me, Matt Warner back with you.
It's been a long day. I'll cut you some slack.
Oh my, I knew I was going to do that. Here on LFSN, we're into the post-game show right now, an expanded post-game show. We'll be with you for about 25 minutes, and so you're going to hear from a lot of those guys, and just enjoy hearing what this Liberty football team thought of today's game. Their first win of the 2014 season, a game, Matt, in which the defense for Liberty just played at the highest level.
They did. They made every big play when they needed to make one. And granted, I mean, were they going up against a high-powered offense? No. But they did what they're supposed to do when you go up against a team that, frankly, doesn't score a lot. They just shut them down. And you like seeing that out of this defense, a defense that ended up giving up, what, 56 last week or whatever it was to North Carolina. They bounced back in a big way today and show themselves to be kind of the team that we thought they would be in FCS play going forward this year.
And Liberty did not turn the ball over one time in this game. And you know how coaches talk about turnovers. And so that's a victory. The special teams played much better. Blanchard was doing great on the kickoffs. He might have had one or two that were not the best, but he really he did a good job. And of course our own Avery Eccles was perfect as you look here at the final stats in this game.
Yeah, penalties kind of got out of hand there towards the end. Total yards, not that big of a gap. They didn't. Listen, Liberty really had 3 good drives, and they scored on all 3. Outside of that, they didn't move the ball a ton. That may be an area that Coach Gill will talk about with his team. I know he wasn't happy with his offense at the end of the half. He may still have some areas that he feels like they need to get better after this game, but the turnovers, that was the story. 2 turnovers to none, and that ended up being the difference.
All right, we're going to head down to Lindsey Keith right now, who's standing by with Liberty's defensive coordinator.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Coach Wimberly, so often everyone talks about Norfolk State defense, but today it was all about Liberty's defense. You guys gave them a shutout. What was your game plan going in today's game?
Well, our game plan was to be simple and to make sure our guys can execute the plays that we had designed. We knew that they would probably come out in something different, which they did. They did a lot more 2x2, and we had to make a couple of adjustments, but once we did that, we was ready to go.
Lyndon Trell, he's such a big proponent to Norfolk State's defense. How did you guys shut him down?
Well, you got to ask the offense about that. He's a great player, did some good things. I know our offense had a good game plan for him.
Great. Well, go enjoy this one. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
I would say that Liberty really